Excuse me, y'all. What it is, everybody. Do, 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 do. Tell a friend, share it out. I'm just waiting on my guests to jump in here with me. Gonna kick off the show tonight with JJ Hughes being banger, y'all. Just give me a second to share out to everybody. So the fact I can share it to my Snapchat's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I'm just saying. The Stray Savvy's got some announcements to make, y'all. If y'all see my post earlier, I'll talk about it here in a second. Just I won't give y'all the time to go tell a friend and get somebody in here. You know, bring somebody new to me. Because next week's about to be fucking crucial. We start our because Stray Savvy's switching up to a whole new direction. It'll be one day a week. It's going to be where there's no music played. It's just mental health or just come on, bullshit, talk, get life out the way. Because there's new people that's in this. So like, dude, why you talk so much? I started all I do by talking. It was never it was never me playing music, or it was me expressing myself, letting people know you're not alone dealing with the shit you're dealing with. So I never feel that you are, yo. What's up, Stacy? Again, y'all, bear with me. I'm a one man army sharing this shit. There's Black Bull.
What's up,
What's
bro?
up, my guy?
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Man, really
What it is?
good. I'm just waiting on Kalo to jump on with us, but you all happy at it? Like I like generally happy I am to see you. Like my guy, man. Like we're gonna talk a little bit about it. That's why I said tonight I'm not gonna really play. I'm not gonna play. Probably not gonna play any music at all, especially what I want to talk about. You can represent because my man right here, yo. This man. I remember when I first seen you, Nick, and Blackhawk at that event that we did together with my power was the they weren't their power train team, whatever. We used to break boards and shit. Y'all met us up in Hamilton and y'all set me aside. It's like, hey, yo, this is our new SOM brother. Because I didn't start wrestling yet, and y'all took me under your wing, and y'all kept me there. What I wanted to speak on, as far as with the culture. So happy Kayla wanted to jump on. There's no development really anymore for situations like that. Nobody wants coached anymore, and it's kind of a not that they don't want to, it's just they are really against it. And I was always that guy that, was happy being around the older dudes ahead of me that were like, hey, I want to teach you this. So that's why I was happy when you hit me up. I was like, hey, I wouldn't mind jumping on with you. I'm like, perfect, because you are great motivation to me, man. Because especially when you used to do your videos, when he was talking like, hey, I'm a single father. Most men, black men, do not have their kids, and I have custody of my kids. I
Yeah.
did this, and then you got your media degree.
Yeah.
If I'm underselling it, I'm sorry, but I pay
No,
attention to
no,
you.
no. You're good,
Like
man.
my man right here, y'all, is fucking inspiration to y'all, especially not just black men, but just single fathers. Do not think that you can't. This man right here could tell you that you can. So while I'm sharing out and tagging everybody, if you want to give your story a little bit, Black Bull, I call him Black Bull. That's not Mark Magnum's right here, but we wrestled. That was Black Bull. So if you would like to, sir, go ahead and give your story while I'm sharing out to everybody.
I mean, yeah, I wrestled for 12 years, man. I've been up and down the roads. I've seen all kinds of people, met all kinds of different people in the business and whatnot. And to go with what you said about just guys that don't want to listen, like I remember back in the day, like when Mountain or Outlaw or somebody told you
Go ahead and
something.
tell them no. We
Yeah,
beat your ass.
yeah. Go ahead and tell Outlaw or Mountain no and see what happens to your ass or see how long you're actually in the business. And I mean, I watched AEW and I watched WWE, and I hear some of the stories coming out of that sometimes where you got certain guys that don't want to listen, or they don't, they act like they already, since they're here now, since I'm
Mhm.
at the big show, I don't need to get any more tutelage or any more knowledge from anybody. And for me, if I would have ever made it that far, please, I would have been a giant sponge. I would have been happy
Man,
for anybody to take the time to tell me anything. And now you've got this generation of guys, and it's not all of them, but
no, it's not.
there's that small section of guys that, man, it seems like because you've been a couple places, or you've wrestled in front of a few thousand people, you think
So
you
and so
know it.
knows my name. My bad. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. I'm popular on the internet, like so was I. So I mean, like that doesn't mean anything. It's the knowledge that you get once you get there, and are you trying to get that knowledge, or are you just happy that you're there making a paycheck? Yeah, you got a little bit of groupies and stuff on the side, but are you advancing your career? Are you making, and that's in any walk of life, music, sports, any walk of life, even regular job. I mean, if you're just stagnant and you're kind of just happy to be here and you're not trying to advance yourself or move up in the pecking order, you're doing something wrong in life, in my opinion.
And I can't disagree with you at all on that, man. Like for real, because that's what I've noticed when I'm speaking. Because nobody in my direct life now knows what I used to do. They think
Right.
I'm full of shit, and they're like, "Oh no, you." I
You used to do it.
and it was just, and I was that dude. Like I'm watching, especially it breaks my heart, especially happened watching our old promos because there's only two views or it's 2 likes on them, and I'm watching them now. I'm like 12 years ago. What
Yeah.
I could do with what I know now
Yeah.
and go back then, because y'all don't understand, man. We would sacrifice our bodies for what, $40 a night, if that,
Sometimes not
maybe a
even
hot
that.
dog,
Yeah, sometimes not
hamburger.
even that. I mean, for me, that was still early in my career to where, I mean, if you made a little bit of money, you were happy, but a lot of times it was the good old hot dog and a handshake. So, I mean, as I got,
And we were going hours out our way, y'all.
yeah, for me, yeah, I was living a good hour and a half away from where we were doing a lot of the shows at. So, I mean, it was taking money out of my pocket. But if you love something enough and you invest in yourself and you bet on yourself, I mean, like I was saying, I mean, like I said, I wrestled for 12 years and I made decent money throughout those 12 years. I mean, obviously, I'm not rich from it, but at the same time, the investment I put in myself at the beginning of making no money and a hot dog and a handshake, and then it's 20, 30, 40,
I
a
still
hundred
got people hitting
dollars.
me up. I've been
Yeah,
retired for technically 10 years.
yeah,
I still have people asking me to come perform.
right,
Just because,
right.
and that's not because, I'm sure you do too. And it's not just because we were that good. It's just people know we are them dudes that love what we do so damn much. We
Yeah,
will go above and beyond, man.
yeah, I mean, I still occasionally get hit up by old promoters that are, hey man, and now at the point with my back and stuff, they kind of know that, yeah, that sun's set for me. But I mean, every anytime I've ever been hit up about it, it's always I get that little itch. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Where it's like,
I still
man, I,
can't.
I could probably do one more.
Watching that Jake Paul and Logan Paul, like watching Jake Paul and Mike Tyson was the
Oh,
first fight I've watched since I retired. And it
yeah,
pissed me off so bad. I called my dudes up. I'm like, hey, and little did I know we all was already at the phone texting. He's like, hey, I was about to text you, just to let you know how you feel about unretiring since we can move this and make money now.
right.
And that's one thing. That's like tonight, the title. I'm not going to really play any music. I want to talk. That's why I was happy with Kalo jumping in here. I'll play music tomorrow and Friday because this is the new segment for the podcast, y'all. I got away from my roots, and that's a little bit more. I got to the point where I forgot what I was told from multiple people, and it kind of clicked on me when the same people are telling me now, or the same things that you told me. Nick pulled me aside. THC pulled me aside.
Yeah.
Everybody that was ahead of me, they're like, "Hey, yo, bro, stop worrying about everybody else, bringing them along. Worry about you."
Yeah.
I never really got it until recently, and I'm like, damn, that really is my biggest problem. Because
it's the
it's
hood
not a problem.
mentality. It's the hood mentality. It's that you want to bring the neighborhood with you, and sometimes you bring the neighborhood with you, and they bring you down faster than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
that's
you're doing this, and I'm not. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, you sometimes you have to worry about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, it's nice to bring up your cousins or or whoever in the family, but at the same time, those could be those same factors that draw you down later on. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to worry about self, or you've got to worry about family. Like with me and my kids, it's me and them. That's all I'm worried about. Anything else on the outside? Do I care politically? Whatever? Yeah, I pay attention and I care. But only thing that matters is the two living in my house. So, I mean, granted, I still got my parents and whatnot, but at the same time, you've got to harness your focus on certain things, and you can't bring everybody with you. Sometimes they got to do that shit on their own.
Yeah, now my buddy Colt Montgomery told me that when I first got linked up with him last year, and I'm like, damn. No, I want to prove against that, just like I did when I was wrestling, man. And literally, it's a problem that I like to have, but it's a problem that I'm trying to get better at. Because it's just, but I'm that dude and the reason why I'm like that is because I'm so used to being that guy that's going out his way, sacrificing himself and getting nobody gives a shit. And
no,
just benefiting from my hard work. So I wanted to get in the way of that happening to other people. And every time I do, it bites me in that fucking ass. Because what people do, especially they started doing this shit now, and then they don't think I know about it. People bragging about that they use my name for clout. I come from the wrestling world, bro. We call that a promo.
yeah. I mean, for real. I mean, some people will do that and still hate on you. They'll go for the clout and I'll use your name, but at the same time, I still can't stand this guy. And that's that double-edged sword where you got to be careful with who you let get close to you or who you trust, because that's what I was saying with my kids and whatnot. I got a small circle of people. I know all kinds of people. Don't get me wrong, but the people that I mess with daily or on a regular basis, that's a small circle, and I try to keep it small for a reason, because the more you kind of sometimes bring people in, the more those people you bring in kind of suck something from you or take something from you or lie on you or whatever the case may be, to where it's like, man, I'm getting old enough to where I ain't got time for this drama. And
I've
seen on Instagram or Facebook or any of these no, I ain't got time for that. I got my focus on these kids.
And I think that was a beautiful thing about me being young and going through the wrestling light, because man, you want to talk about some snaky bullshit?
Go ahead.
Wrestling, man, like you already know. You want to talk about I've seen somebody get jealous and get taken off of a shot, or they pulled, a shoot, which a shoot when you're wrestling is every wrestling's not fake. I don't give a damn what nobody says. My body will show you it's choreographed.
Right.
I've seen somebody get so mad that they literally try to hurt somebody.
Oh yeah.
Because they've had a spot. So y'all want to sit there and talk about sabotaging, and the worst thing you got to worry about is your mic. I get that thing sucks, but I've literally seen people get dropped on their head because they had a scout there watching them and not somebody else.
Right. It happens that way sometimes. I mean, jealousy is a bad drug, so to speak. I mean, because you've got a lot of people that don't want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you do better, and they damn sure don't want to see you do better than they're doing.
Nope.
So it's kind of hard to. That's why, like I said, I keep my circle close, because I know the people that I have around me are the ones that actually got me. They ain't trying to stab me in the back. They ain't lying on me. They ain't trying to do nothing or talking behind my back. None of that. I know the people that are around me, and you be one of the same people. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you ain't like that. So and that's why I hit you up. Like, hey man, let me see what can we do together on this to make have it a little fun and give a little
And
content to
that's
the
what it
people.
hit exactly. And that's why when you said that, I'm like, damn, Blackpool's still the same dude. He ain't switched it. Like me and this dude, he's always been a big bro to me. Like from like y'all heard the story when we first got linked up. When I first had any question, I'm like, yo, well, what do you think about this shit? And I remember you helped me with the watching our promos, and when I switched up with Xavier and J3,
Yeah.
it was funny because everybody else, dude, I don't get it. You were the only ones like, that's creative. At least you thought of it on your own.
Well, I mean,
Because
I could tell
they
you were
kept calling me
green.
a Mexican.
That was
Oh
the
yeah.
joke. But I mean, for me, it was
That was because
I
they
could
kept. It was like, all right, we got to pull the Mexican thing, and I was like, I'm not Mexican. It's like, but you look it, so running with it. I'm like, all right.
sometimes you get stuck with dumb stuff in wrestling where you get stuck with the
It was
bad
fun
gimmick.
though.
Yeah, it was
It was
fun,
fun
but
though.
yeah, but at the same time, you want to get something closer to your own comfort zone when you do
Right.
stuff like that. And I mean
But
that wasn't you. It was funny, but I mean,
when
it didn't help you that much.
you said the key word though, I was green, and
Yeah,
I had to do what I had to make it. Because do you think I won? Fuck no, I didn't win.
no,
That's not what it's about. It's about getting exposure and getting better. So, because you never know who's in the crowd, which I learned from wrestling that you would have people, road agents. That's where I learned that. That's what I when I was like, you know what, I want to be a road agent for the music because I love that.
yeah,
Being that dude, nobody really expects being in the corner room scouting somebody for the next opportunity to break out.
right,
You never know who's at them, and them dudes love indie shows. Especially you
yeah.
can tell now, especially with thank God WWE finally brought the indie wrestlers in. They needed to.
Yeah, I mean, they can get the homegrown talent where they're former gymnasts or football players, and that's great because they eventually get the knack for it too. But you want the people that are on the indies that they grew up to do this. I
Actually
mean,
care and not,
yeah, they want to do this. This isn't well, football didn't work or acting didn't work, so I guess I'll try wrestling now. No, I mean, it's good to have those because it gives you that mixture. But you want to have those indie guys that have put in the grind, that have put in the work, that have put in the bumps, you know, to get to where they're at, as opposed to somebody that just came off a football team or
Mhm.
whatever walk of life, and now because that didn't work out, here you are wrestling now.
And that's where I first learned. Like I learned to learn the word plant, which I noticed in the music industry they use that a lot. They use a lot of the same terminology that we use, but they don't use mark out like we did. Because I said
Yeah.
that to somebody, like, man, I don't want to mark out to somebody's like, what does that mean? I don't
No.
want to Google over you, bro, because I know like when
Well,
Little Light came to Chillicothe and I went to that show, it was my idol. I had people like hit me up like, come on, come on, come on. I'm like, no, I don't want to because I used to love it, but I was so happy being a heel because I would
yeah.
not have to go through getting grabbed on in the middle of everybody after I just got done wrestling my ass off or before the match when I'm trying to get my mind right. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that I didn't like the fans. I love the fans. Fans are awesome. But when you're especially when you're trying to get locked in, the last thing you want to do is to have people in your face because you have to. When it comes to fans, y'all, this is why I've always loved. Again, this is why I love where I came from and learning from who I learned from because I luckily got a lot of great dudes to take me under the wing. So what y'all see 12 years later is the result of this man and a couple others that groomed me to think the way I do. It just didn't click until I actually got
Yeah,
older.
it's no different than when parents tell you something, and then 20 years later, man, I get exactly what my dad was talking about. Now, there's things now that I get with my own kids, where it's like, and I've got an older child, or it's like there's things that later on in life you get that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't get then because when your parents were telling you when you were 18, you thought you knew it all. Now you're 35, and it's like, damn, dad was right, or damn,
Right,
mom was right, or damn, Uncle Tony was right. You know what I'm
right,
saying? To where it's like eventually you have that moment when it all just clicks,
right.
and it's like, damn, they was right.
That's and yeah, man. That's what I'm doing. Like I had people hit me up with all everybody arguing this shit back and forth. They're like, "Oh, don't let it scare you away." I'm like, "What?" Like I
Yeah.
remember when it got so bad with us and the local promotions after the shows. Everybody thought they were skits. Those were not skits. Motherfuckers were pulling up on us
Yeah,
because we
sometimes,
were.
yeah. Yeah.
But And that's what they were like. Oh, that's why I thought that. I'm like, y'all arguing back and forth. Y'all really don't understand because, like I was talking about with the word plant and marking out and all that. Like you said, where you bring the football stars in, you really want to see a shady business. Wrestling was one before everything switched over to where the wrestlers took over. Because I've seen dudes that deserved opportunities. We wrestled with a couple of. We wrestled with tremendous wrestlers that would have blew any of the dudes you've seen on the circuit out the water.
Some of them, yeah.
That's just not how it works, yo.
No,
But
I mean, there's the market's so oversaturated. There's so many indie promotions, and that no different than there's so many rappers out there. I mean, how many times you watch a Steve Wilkos or something like that, and everybody's a rapper. Everybody's an aspiring rapper.
everybody wants to be a rapper.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a rapper. Everybody wants to be in movies. Everybody, and I get that desire, but not everybody's cut out for that. And that's the realization that some people don't ever come to until it's too late.
And a lot of people want to be something without realizing what they are themselves. Yep. Which I can relate to that. Like you just said, like there was things that y'all told me that just clicked recently, and I haven't been around y'all in 12 years.
Right.
So it's never too late to learn, y'all. But like you said, sometimes sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't.
I mean,
it's just, can you be honest enough with yourself to admit where you lack at and work on it? Some people can't.
Some of us grow at different rates. It depends on how you grew up. I mean, if you grew up raising your sister and your brother, you know what I'm saying, to where you grow up a little harder than the rest of us that just grew up where mommy and daddy took care of us, and you didn't have that. I mean, the structure of how people grow up kind of dictates how you are as an adult. Not always, obviously. There's an exception to every rule. But I feel like if you grew up hard where your mom was working and you didn't have dad around and you was kind of the surrogate parent for your other two siblings or three or whatever the case may be, where you kind of grew up at a faster rate, yeah, you're going to have a stronger head on your shoulders than somebody that got to do what they want, play video games, all that. You know what I mean? There's levels to all this. And right. It just depends on how you grew up. And some people just grow at a different rate, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've realized you're especially being older now, because there's people, and the main thing that made me realize it was when there was friends that started falling off and I passed away. Like that's when it really hits you, man, because there's people that the reason why I did this is because I wanted certain people to see me make it. I wanted to hear them like, dude, I'm proud of you. Like people like you, Dan, Black Hawk, the motherfuckers that actually took the time out to tell them, like, coach me. Yeah. Because that really is something that I never had in my life. That's why I'm iffy around male figures, because they always want to have a cock measuring contest with me, and that don't work with me. Yeah, I don't want you to be. I don't want to be belittled, because I grew up having my ass whipped by a grown ass man. What you gonna do?
Yeah. What can you do to me that hasn't been done already? Right. Yeah.
So but the main thing that always was treat me like a regular person. Treat me like I want to learn, because I might annoy the piss out of you, which I'm sorry if I did to y'all, but I really was just that dude that wanted to learn. Because if I see you doing better than me, I see you have a championship. I want to know, what do I got to do to make myself presentable to that? When y'all getting called from other promotions, I didn't get mad at y'all. I wanted to know what I could do to better myself to make that happen.
I mean,
and I realized not everybody's cut out that way, like you just said. So they always get mad, like, oh, well, fuck, what am I doing this for? Instead of working harder.
Oh, I mean, in any walk of life, I think there's jealousy, but like, especially in wrestling. I mean, in music too, I would think, but I mean, in any sport, but in wrestling, man, just because the way that the nature of the beast is in wrestling, and you could be on top of the world one week and say something, especially nowadays, you could say something dumb online and be canceled the next week. So, I mean, you've got to monetize every moment that you have in this business, and any business for that matter, because you've only got a certain shelf life.
Or until the next big thing pops up, and then you're just.
I mean, take me, for example. I wrestled for 12 years. I knew there was a shelf life. I knew I only had so long to do this before eventually I've got to call it a day. And you've got some wrestlers that wrestle until they're 60. Yeah, that's
Ric
great.
Flair,
but at the same time, the average wrestler, especially when you're not in the spotlight and you're not, in WWE or AEW or TNA or some of these bigger promotions, when you're on the indies, I mean, is it really worth it to wrestle until you're 60 when you're still only getting paid? I mean, maybe a couple $100. That's great, but
Well,
what's it
and
doing to your body?
especially in indie shows, y'all, because if for those of you that wrestle, we can go ahead and give y'all a spotlight. I can't watch wrestling regular now. I can't.
I still do, but yeah,
I
get it.
do,
I get
but
it.
I'm
I
sitting
get
there
it.
like, damn, that's a blown spot. Like I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like I love watching. Like I started watching Raw. Shout out to Raw for finally getting on Netflix and all that, y'all. That's dope. But I can't watch it regular. So I'm like, damn, that was a blown spot. Shit, they missed
Yeah,
that
it
spot.
makes you watch it different than you used to. Yeah, yeah. Ever since once the day I started getting trained for wrestling, it made you watch wrestling in a different way because you
And
look at it from the aspect of, okay, they're doing this to go into
mhm,
this to go into that, and then they'll do one move, one thing that the average fan will not even notice that was a mess up, but you will, or
V
you'll notice
flip
that they're talking to the ref, or you'll
from an
notice,
arm drag. Yeah.
yeah, you'll notice just the
Oh
dumbest
shit,
thing
that
that
hurt.
the
That
average
missed. That fucked up.
yeah, the average person will not notice, but then at the same time, you'll have somebody else that'll,
Yeah.
like a me, like a you, like anybody that's ever had any time in the wrestling business, you're going to know, wait a minute, they screwed that up and they botched it, but they're trying to cover it. And they did a good job of covering it, but it was
But
still a
you still
botch.
botched it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what when I came to start doing this, trying to explain stage presence to these people. I'm like, it's something I never really thought I'd have to explain to nobody. But really, yo, you want to learn how to do stage presence? Go to an indie wrestling school.
I mean, some
Because you
people,
have to work.
even still, some people don't have charisma.
No, they don't.
Let's be honest here. Some people don't have charisma, and I mean, some people weren't a good promo. Bret Hart wasn't the greatest promo, but I believed everything he did in the ring. So I mean, it's not all about that, but at the same time, it's damn sure important because when you got a Stone Cold or a Rock or somebody like that cutting a killer promo, and then they can wrestle too. That's the full circle type of thing. But I mean,
because nobody's paying you a ticket to sit there and just watch you sit still and just be this
monotone. Yeah.
like nobody is paying for that. Like we were in like, and also that's why I'm talking about the indie scene, y'all. Like you want to talk about it? Really, some dead hoed individuals. See some indie dudes, dude, because them dudes usually just got off of work. We setting up the ring, and that
Yep.
ring. And for you dudes that's still doing this, past me and Bull doing it like 10, 15 still years in the same rings, salute to you because them fucking rings hurt. I don't
Yeah,
care. I don't care what nobody says. They're like, oh, it's a mattress. No, the fuck it's not. That is a piece of wood over. Yeah, nah.
I remember when I went into the Ohio Valley Hall of Fame earlier last year, and just to see some of the guys that still wrestle that I wrestled with, to where it's like, you still doing this, man? I mean, I'm happy to see him still wrestling, but it's just like, I'm thinking in my mind, there's no way I could still do this. Like, as much as I want to in my mind, I think I could go out there and do it. No, I know physically my back would not stand too much of that. I mean,
I'll go back to fighting before I go back to wrestling. And the main reason why I say that is because it was a lot harder to learn how to train like I'm beating somebody's ass than it was actually trained to beat somebody's ass.
Yeah,
because that's the thing. You like you said, the charisma. It's the whole past. Why I have a unique perspective because I'm technically, I guess, a scout, agent, and promoter for artists.
Yeah,
and I come from being a wrestler. I look at shit a lot differently because I don't care how good you sound because I know dudes that could be great promoters, okay, great dudes on the mic.
Yeah,
but they could not last 15 seconds straight on the match without blowing out.
Yeah,
couldn't even handle a simple arm drag.
Yeah, I mean, cardio is important. I mean, I think that's an any sport. If you can't get out there and do it, there's a problem.
Like, so I'm sitting there like watching people, and I'm like, man, what you like? Okay, what are you trying to do? And they're like, oh, I don't want to do this. So hope you don't want to get to where people are going to hear you and pass word of mouth, because again, we know how this. What would have happened if we would have turned down a fucking chance that we just got out of the blue? Because from a promoter that like say, I'm trying to think, because we all know promoters and everybody talks. It's just any opportunity. What would have happened if you would have turned down an opportunity back when you were doing your thing? If they would have gave you that phone call and you would have told them, "No, I'm better than that," what would have happened to you?
I mean, it depends on where. A lot of it depends on where you're at in life. I mean, a lot of it does. I mean, I know that there was a time when I wanted to go to like WWE or something like that, but then the older I got, And then I ended up having 2 more kids to where it's like, I'm not gonna, I mean, I made enough mistakes with my oldest child to where I missed a lot of stuff to where it was like, and I always told myself if I ever had the chance to ever have kids again, I'd do a better job than what I did the first time. And then I have my
Right.
2 now to where it's just kind of like the older I got, and then those 2 came along to where it was just kind of like, even
All
if I
right.
did make it somewhere, I'd probably say no,
Okay. Well, then
just for that reason. But I get your point because
that's what I was about to ask you. 'Cause I'm not talking
yeah,
about as far as regretting, because I will, because you can answer this uniquely like I can.
yeah,
Back when we were doing this, before we had the responsibilities that we do now, when
yeah.
we were at our shit, because I remember when y'all used to hit a damn wrestling, like what y'all did, 4 shows a week.
It was, I mean, I know it was something like that. I mean, we were at least doing 2 to 3. I
And
mean, and
not
that,
just in the same spot, it was differently, y'all. These
yeah.
dudes was traveling. Most of were you part of the crew that went to Indiana and Michigan or no?
I,
Or y'all
I've been,
stayed
I've wrestled all over. I've wrestled in Mississippi, North Carolina. I mean, I've been all over. So, I mean, but in the aspect of what you're saying, I mean, you didn't want to pass up an opportunity
no.
because usually one opportunity led to another one. Or if you worked for this promoter and then worked for this promoter, and then those 2 promoters talk to another promoter about you, and everything's all good and they're talking good about you, then that promoter's going to, I mean, it was all word of mouth. I mean, it wasn't like it, especially when we started, it ain't like how the
Right.
internet is now where
No,
you
dude.
can
Like
hit up somebody and boom,
right.
you've got a booking. Back then it was a lot of word of mouth, putting in the work in the aspect of being respectful backstage because you didn't want to be known as a problem. You
Shit,
didn't
we
want
would
to be
have. I
known
remember
as
we had to
somebody.
go hit the convenience stores and stuff in the area, handing out flyers and shit.
Oh yeah,
Because
doing groundwork. Oh yeah,
we had
doing the
to.
canvassing. Yeah, that was, I mean, that was old school promoting. How's people going to know if they don't know? I mean, if you're just going to say we're having a show at such and such on Saturday at 8 p.m., but you haven't plastered the city to let the city know that, why would they come? Just because you've got an internet? I mean, you got to do that word of mouth and get people to, if you go in to get gas and all of a sudden you see on the door, hey, they're having a wrestling show down the street next week. That's how you do it. That's how you sell tickets. That's how you move money. That's how you make money. Like, and a lot
Right.
of, I've worked for plenty of promotions that didn't want to do the canvassing, didn't want to do the groundwork, or you'd work with wrestlers that didn't want to do the groundwork or wouldn't even want to promote the show. As I got older into wrestling and Facebook and all that became a thing to where you could easily promote shows, there was guys that didn't even want to do that. So I
Dude,
mean,
I run into that problem all the time. They're like, I don't feel like that. I'm like, why don't you want to? Or they don't want to promote. They don't want to promote for themselves. I'm like, so what's the point of what you're doing? Because, dude,
yeah,
if I'm just like I play conversations back to again. And this is just me being the unique self I am because I have a different outlook from this. Like that's what when people finally meet me and they understand how I am, because that's what I think. I'm like, dude, if I would have turned down a fucking opportunity because not just the people, not just the promoters, but the other talent talks.
yeah.
And y'all want to talk about shit because you're fucking with their money too. If
Yep.
you're not there and you don't show up or you act the ass, it's not just your money that's affected. It's
Oh, you burn a bridge.
everybody's,
If
dude.
you don't show up, you've burned a bridge. And then that's what I was talking about the good reputation. And that same promoter that talked good about you will go back to those other 2 promoters I was
Mhm.
talking about. This guy's a professional. He didn't show up to my show, or he did something crazy that I told him not to do, but he did any. I mean, it's more uniform than you think with wrestling. I mean, a lot of people think it's just chaos and guys are
It's
just
not
out there doing whatever. It's more uniformed and streamlined or and straightforward than you think. It's not just go out there and play.
right. And that's why I take shit personally when so that's why I don't like going to places to watch main event like wrestling events or fights because I did both. I
Yeah.
know what it takes to do that shit.
Yep.
And I, you motherfucker had no idea what that dude had to do because that dude also, well, not when they start getting pro, like now it's not as well, now it's not as bad. Like they make money compared to what we do because
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
was what, like when we finally, well, so you've been retired.
I've been retired since 2021. That was the last
Oh,
match
so
I
you
had.
retired. My last match was shit 2012. So
Yeah.
I've
You've
been
been
out
out a
the, it's like,
while. Yeah, you've
so
been
it,
out a
but
while.
that's like, think of it since then because even when I still backed away, that was a WWE was the only thing around here. And then you
Oh, I
had
mean, yeah, yeah.
ROH, TNA, and but the thing that WWE always stood out the most is they were the best at playing the gimmicks. And that's one thing I always know, because TNA had the best fucking talent after WCW. WCW destroyed as far as storylines and the actual pure heart and believability.
Yeah.
I was WWE, and then when TNA took over. But what I noticed, it kind of just fits. That's why when I started doing with music, I started noticing this too. If you start acting like everybody else instead of being your unique self, what's going to happen? You're going to fall off because you're not them. And that's why I noticed in the wrestling, like when everybody they kept, because WWF started doing the full gimmick bullshit.
Yeah.
It's Kayla. That's what I would like your unique perspective on being your own self, because Blackpool was a unique dude when he wrestled. I know we've been going back and forth and we've been talking, because this is my dude, y'all. Like, this man is one of them. I'm about to have Kayla jump in here too. Definitely listen to what he's speaking on, because he does not bullshit. That's why I appreciate when he pulled me under my wing, because he knew who was trying to teach me shit. And he knew they were full of shit. And he didn't have to sit there and step out his way. Same with Nick.
Well, I mean, if you were going to be serious about it and you actually wanted to do it, I mean, it's one thing if you just want to do it for a couple of weeks. Oh, it's fun. And my girlfriend will get to see me, whatever. But if this is something
I was in that
really
damn gym
want
every day.
That's what I'm saying. If this is something that you actually want and really want to do, then yeah, I have no problem helping anybody, because somebody had to help me. And that's, I mean, it's supposed to be that hand up where if somebody lifted me up, I'm going to reach back and, and hand and pull somebody else up. It ain't going to be the pull up the ladder behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry about your luck. I'm here. Get here on your own. Hey, if I can help you get there, I will. And that's the way I've always been. And that's in anything I've ever done. I mean, am I perfect? Hell no. But at the same time, if I see that you're trying to put in the time and the work to learn and listen, oh yeah. I mean, that's the problem that we were talking about earlier. But guys that don't want to listen now, they think they've already made it.
Yep.
Or they've got a little bit of clout.
They're locally
online.
famous.
Yeah, or yeah, you got a little bit of a following online, but it's like nobody in the wrestling world outside of your city knows who you are. So I mean,
I've seen great wrestlers get humbled real quick when we go, and they're like, oh, or just because they, especially going to Hamilton and wrestling, you're from Middletown.
Yeah. Even in music, even in music, you'll have a lot of local rappers, and then you think just because you've got a little bit of hood fame, it's like, okay, but you ain't like some of these other, you ain't an Eminem or something, you know what I mean? You ain't nobody like that. You ain't a Dr. Dre or nothing. So it's like, I mean, you're local. That's great, and that has this niche, no different than anybody that does it, like these old cover band bands where they play old music and stuff at bars. There's a place for that, but you've got to know and stay in your own lane, and not act like because you've got 2,000 followers on Facebook now all of a sudden you're a star. That don't mean nothing. Like that don't mean nothing.
And again, the reason why because I've been speaking on this. Everybody's like, dude, that's just being like, nah, bro. Like, I come from a very unique perspective because of a unique experience in my life when I was younger.
Yeah.
And like, seriously, if y'all would have acted like anything of the people that taught me how, because a lot of the people I talked to are about, 20 to 23, 24, about the same age I was.
Yeah.
And I've seen dudes get humbled real fucking quick because, again, especially, saying that if it's all about how bad you want this shit, yo. Like, that's one thing that's like we just saying. Not everybody is meant for what they want to be. That's why it requires hard work. Talent only gets you so far. I've seen talented individuals disappear. Like I said earlier,
you always gotta have a backup plan.
You do.
That's no different than if you try to play a sport, but you also go to college because that degree might save your ass just in case the sport don't work out. You've got to have a backup plan. You can't just go in there, I'm going to be a wrestler and that's it. It's like, okay, but what if that don't work? Or what if you get hurt seriously to where you can't do this again? Then what?
And we've seen that happen to people we know personally. It's not like, and that's not us just being like I know, God rest his soul, Dan got dropped on his head and went blind.
Yeah.
And that was part of it did. And he's not the only person I know that got affected from just one little incident in a wrestling world, y'all. Like, And we're not trying to speak. If anybody ever wants to be a wrestler, I support you. Like for real. I've loved every bit of that life. That was great. I wish, it was like how it is now because, it would be dope to be Facebook Live or Instagram Live having a fucking match, dude.
Yeah. But the world was
especially
totally
the storylines that we have. Like I'm sitting there watching our videos, our blades and shit. I'm like, dude, there's so much that's not here because nobody knew how to work a camera. We didn't really have it like that. Like we did,
nothing was HD like it. Yeah, nothing was HD either, like it is now. Everything was all choppy looking. So I mean, it was the infancy of a lot of this stuff that we were. I don't want to say the forefront of, but we were some of the people that were in that at the beginning. So it is what it is. I mean, I look at a lot of things the same way when it comes to music, wrestling, sports. I mean, in any aspect or walk of life, you can kind of take the same thinking on a lot of it. Whether I'm talking about football and you got to train to all the work you got to put in to get there, wrestling, music, all that. You can't just put out one song and think, no, there's plenty of one-hit wonders that we ain't never heard of from again. Well, so, I mean.
And I guess, it kind of comes from a unique because wrestling, compared to music, like I'm not trying to put shade on anybody. Wrestling's a fucking cutthroat business because somebody's always trying to take your fucking spot. And I'm not trying, like, just from what I don't think it's as bad as it was when I was, but everybody always want to be the top guy. That's what the whole goal is, right?
Which is natural, yes. But yeah, I mean, there would be some that would go the cutthroat way about it, as opposed to just getting it outright or waiting their turn or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's like none of us win anything.
No,
it's not like this is a real fight. I mean, and I hate to say it like that because I know, oh my God, wrestling's fake. Like, no, it's not. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm really beating this guy's ass.
Right.
So it is what it is, though.
Black Bull, this is my homie Kalo right here. Kalo,
what's up, bro?
This is Black Bull.
Good to meet you, bro.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
This you missed it when I introduced him, but this is one of the dudes when I first started out in my 20s when I started wrestling. Like I transitioned from a fighter to wrestler. Usually people go wrestler to fighter. My dumbass, my trainer thought it was a great idea to go from being a pro fighter to a wrestler, and I loved it because of the relationships I had. But the hardest thing I ever had to do was learn how to not hurt somebody. When I had 20 years of training, and then I had to get told to not be that aggressive person, but make it look like that aggressive person. This is one of the individuals that helped me learn that, because a lot of people didn't know how to handle me because they didn't take that shit as seriously as I wanted to, because I really wanted that shit. So did they. So,
right.
Dude, you already know I was hungry as hell. Like I didn't care. Like I didn't care whatever you want me to do, whatever character they want me to do, because I wanted that. So like Lowe's, we've been talking about artist development, and that's why I was grateful to when you hit me up again to say that, to want to jump on here, because you understand that too from a unique perspective, because like we already spoke on it. So that's one thing I wish there was more people that thought the way I do back when I was younger. But like you said, everybody's cut out for this. So it just sucks.
Yeah, sucks.
Especially, when it comes to the culture, because like we was talking, everybody, it's okay to want to be the top dude, but y'all, there's ways to get around to do this. And
it's called earn it. It's called earn it.
So man. Hey Rob, you want to jump on? I'll send you the link, bub. We're not playing music now. We're just bullshitting and talking about life. Like, yeah. I would love to have Rob on, because Rob has a unique perspective from it too. Like, because Rob's also a promoter, from the promoter perspective too. Like y'all, I remember Rob's the one, same with THC, when y'all first started teaching me the booking aspect of it. Like that was cool to learn. But that's also where I learned the popularity, because you got to have a good. Trying to think, the politics of it, good way and bad way. I know I was green, but I learned a lot from that, because regardless, at the end of the day, you got to do what's good for business. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like it's relative. It's so relative on all aspects and levels in life. So when you break it down in layers, let's just think about it this way. The population has grown we can delegate it down to even driving your car. They say it's over 200,000 people driving that should not be driving. So any given moment, you might be driving your car and be like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are you doing this? That's one of them that should not be driving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then you bleed it over into any path that you operating on. Somebody falls into that category that should not be here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the popcorn society that want it now, want it here, they don't want to earn it. They don't want to work for it.
Yep.
You know, and those who are truly authentic, it's so frustrating to people like that because you know how to earn this thing. You know the whole process of it. And many times people don't want to go through the process. They want to skip the process.
Yeah, unfortunately, we live
We
in a
spoke
get rich
about that a
quick
little bit.
society. Yeah, we
Yeah.
live in a get rich quick society. Everybody trying to get that next scam, that next lick. And it's like
Mm.
sometimes you just got to work and grind for it. It ain't always just going to come right to you. Or you can't just scratch off a lottery ticket and poof, you made it. No, sometimes you don't never make it.
No.
You die trying. Like you still trying, but you don't make it. So I mean,
and I'll speak on it from, again, from my being that young dude. I came from a former fight. I was a hell of an athlete. Like there was nothing I couldn't do.
Yeah.
And I got to see less athletic people go beyond me because they had something I didn't. And I didn't really understand it at the time. And I had to learn that. I'm like, oh, they understand how to be professional. I did not. And it goes to the whole character because I didn't look the way I needed to. I did I started getting like when I started to develop my look. I remember looking at pictures and just watching me, and like how my gear changed. And I was like, okay, now I get it. Then once I started changing my look and how I presented myself and got a little bit more confident in the character, that's when the phone call started coming.
Right.
But it had to take me having to humble myself and learn how to work. I couldn't just skip steps. Could I? Absolutely. Because did I know people that could have, take me with you and bug the shit out of somebody? Yes, I could, but you don't want to ever be that dude. Like, is that dude, will that dude get a pass? Yes, you'll get a pass, but you're going to be that dude that gets alienated from everybody. Nobody's going to want to trust you.
We're going to know why you're here. Oh, we know why he's here. He's friends with Whoop-de-Whoop. Yeah, that kind of shit. So yeah, I'm with you.
Now, could y'all agree or disagree with me? Why we live in a society where people will listen to what we're talking about, be like, man, fuck what they talking about, man. You know, we doing it like this, we doing it, and what we doing, we're dropping jewels. And then when you reach that plateau that inspires them or allows them to look at you, like I use myself for example. I enter a room, I would never ever tell people what I've done, who I am, because that's not my identity.
Yeah.
And I would tell people that's your ability. So when you learn what you are good at and you hone in on that shit and you just take it to the levels I don't care what the resistance is, you know what you're good at. Forget what people saying. So that's the resistance, and that's more of work for you to fight through all of the he say, she say, and that's what social media has done. You know, without saying my age, we didn't have it like that back then.
That's what,
Yep, that's what
like,
I was saying.
Me and him was talking, because
you know,
I'm old enough to know, bro. Trust me.
You go watch our old promos, dude.
Making a phone
there's no
call.
Reason why we only have 10 views on those and only 2 likes, because we, like, for the day and time that we did this shit before it was all popular. Do you think we posted any of that shit on Facebook? No, we didn't know how.
Didn't know how. I'm come from an era like, damn, my pager go off. Yo, pull over, man. Let me use the phone.
For real.
Shit, I'm like, man, I gotta use the phone. I'm getting the pages 911, 911, 911. Remember the 77430 upside down is hello. So all that kind of stuff, man, is what humbled me to this day.
Right.
And I tell those like ourselves, don't let today's society, let that energy conform us. Yeah. So I have 2 things. You have realistic thinking and you have emotional thinking, right? And if you put that on a piece of paper, emotional thinking will have the longer list. I felt like this, man. They made me feel like this. You know how I feel, man? Realistic thinking is more or less the basic principles that you would say, you know what, this shit makes more sense. You could say one little sentence that would mean a lot of words. And I love to do analogies, and I'm gonna stop. We all hear saying like, hey, you could bring the horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people never heard the second part of that. The second part is if you slap salt in its mouth, it will make it thirsty. So guess what? People will walk away like, damn, I never heard that. Guess what it does? It makes them think, because the wisdom in that. How do you make someone thirsty that's stubborn, that has a one way of looking at shit?
Appreciate you, Rob.
You see what I'm saying? How do you do it? And that's the uphill battle that we face with those of us who stick to the basic principles of shit.
Right. And that's the thing, like compared to, when we used to do this thing, like Rob can vouch for it too. The basic principles that we all knew when we were coming up and trying to figure out life are not the same as they were now. And unfortunately, you don't have many people like us that actually are able to get through to these people, because you got to watch how you come at people now, because everything's disrespectful. And it's not. Nobody wants to take any kind of criticism or to say like, hey, yo, check yourself. Just so you know, this could happen to you if you keep going the way you do. No, I've seen it.
No, they don't take it. I'll tell you what it is.
Go ahead.
A lot of people are not accountable. There's always a boogeyman, or it's always somebody else's fault for why they're going through what they're going through. Everybody wants to get online. I mean, because that's why I had to get off TikTok. I was almost happy when it got banned, just because everybody always on there complaining about their life, and it's like, you realize the person that's looking in that phone is probably the reason for 90% of your problem. I mean, nobody wants to take accountability. It's always your ex-boyfriend, or it's always this, or it's always that, or it's the government. And sometimes some of that is legit. Don't get me wrong.
Like what Rob just said, used to be bust your ass and outwork that ass clown. That's the fucking fact.
Yep.
Because if you don't like somebody, you don't like where somebody is, what the fuck you doing to change it? Oh, you're just bitching about it? Okay, move.
What I heard, the craziest thing I heard, that the algorithm in this country is different than the algorithm in China.
Yep.
So their TikTok teaches their kids math and algebra and solution and formulas. But in this country, was so happy
when we got banned, dude.
Yeah, and in this country, TikTok is showing you all the dysfunction, all the dumb shit that fascinates us.
I think it's all the algorithms, Facebook, all of them. It's all kind of, I mean, granted, TikTok's a whole lot different. They have a different algorithm altogether, but at the same time, Twitter, all X, whatever the hell you want to call that shit, all of it's the same thing.
Now, I'm more of a, let's say, I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
So I like to be an advocate for different things. So
he's the dude you want to have when everything to calm everything down. That's the dude you need.
So you got to think about it like this. You had a lot of people with low self-esteem, right?
Yep.
Facebook helped that. Look what I'm wearing today, y'all. What y'all tell me what y'all think. Today's my birthday. Hey, happy birthday to me. We don't know.
Yep.
We don't know when the camera's off if that fucking chick or this dude is battling depression. They feed off the energy of this social media, which I can give it that much credit to say, okay, you helped a lot of those people who have low self-esteem. Because I know somebody clearly, they will have their weave on the bed. They'll have the thing that keeps their stomach sucked in. They're like, tell me what y'all think. This is what I'm wearing tonight. I'm going to wear this dress. I'm going to wear these shoes. It's like, are you serious? What the fuck you posting that shit for? Or you get somebody in the hospital bed with the tubes and, yo, y'all, I'm in the hospital and, man, y'all pray for me. It's like, really? What are you doing?
Got to get that dopamine hit.
But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So I say that to say that's where social media probably had helped them, because they're in their home by themselves and they battling some kind of damn emotional, whatever, dysfunction.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying to that. But also it did a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It did
Man,
a
people
lot of
forgot
damage at the
you can
same
get
time.
receipts, dude. Like that's the bad part. People forgot you can't just act however the hell you want to, because you're gonna see somebody in real life eventually, yo. And
Yep.
Now
not
let's bring it to
everybody
the
gone
street.
through the same thing that you have, so people respond to things a lot differently.
I used to run into some dudes in Chicago, and I'd be like, "Yo, tell me, I'm a New Yorker, man. Tell me why the fuck Chicago?" He said, "I'm gonna tell you something, Lo. Social media caused a lot of people to lose their life." I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Because back in the days, you can point 6 blocks that way, 6 blocks that way, 6 blocks that way, and 6 blocks that way. You knew where everybody lived. Social media and all of the technology made people all online. You didn't even know an op just moved around the corner from you or down the block from you. And you posting, and the op is like, oh shit, that nigga live up the block from me."
But you,
When it was broken down to me, like I was like, man, that is so true,
you just telling people that they're like, oh, no, that's not like that, bruh. Shit like that
bro,
happens. It's just
bro.
that they don't let you
Yeah,
know
dude.
it. I've seen that's what I'm like. Y'all, that's why I don't pay attention to the news anymore, man, because all it is bullshit. That's why I started really doing this when I first got started out, because nobody ever wants to talk about real life shit. Everybody wants to paint a picture. Look at me now. Look at bruh. Nobody gives a shit
But you
at the
be
end of the day.
surprised. You be surprised.
Facts.
They will be looking at your show and they'll be like, damn, he talking some real shit.
Oh,
Yep.
bruh.
The fact that you don't wanna come up on the platform and say, hey man, you rather be conformed to the phoniness.
Yup. And that's been my biggest issue, you know, because I refuse to kiss anybody's ass. Mark could tell you. Mark's know me. That's my biggest issue with I refuse, because I don't need to do that to be successful, yo. You know, because
Exactly.
I believe in myself enough, and I know who can push me enough, and that's the person in the mirror. And now me being what I have now, I don't need that life. But back then, oh yeah, nah, I did not care to sit there and tell you exactly how I felt, and that got me in a lot of situations. Like, so the person that y'all think is online now, I've been the same fucking dude since I was 20 years old.
Same here, man.
Yep. For the most part,
Same
yeah.
And the only
here,
difference
bro.
is I have a platform now to where everybody can see me. So if y'all think that I'm
Same
twisting up
here.
and everything, like, this is me. Like, this man can confirm it. He knew the young pup me, and this man is the part of my life now. I am the dude trying to help everybody come along. At this point, I am done with all you assholes that watch my fucking page, rip my shit, and don't give me props. I put too many people on to get this shit. So if you take offense by this, I'm sorry, but I'm just saying this from the 20-year-old dude that I am now.
No, don't let them hate. Let them hate. You need haters. You need a hating section.
But to those of you that have believed in me from the get-go, thank y'all, because these two can confirm it. This is how I am on and off this camera. That's why I'm not playing any music tonight, because I'm happy that Mark reached out to me, a mentor that I had in my life. Rob, Ken, like everybody that has reached out to me the past couple of days. Thank y'all, because this is the reason why I do this shit. This is a 10-year-old kid's dream come true, and I did it on my fucking own with the help of those that actually believed in me. So keep playing,
man. That's that energy I got.
So
that's that energy. That's that energy I got.
I'm just happy that I got people that, like my dude Rob right here, like everybody that's been watching. Like Rob hit me earlier, and I was like, I'm sorry I don't reach out to you. He's like, bro, you shouldn't be reaching out to people. People should be checking on you.
Yep.
Thank you for that, bub. Like,
yo, Jay,
because I feel so bad for people like Mark and Rob, Chris, like my brothers that bled with me, actually gave a shit about me. It was the last time in my life that I was actually valued. I miss them every fucking day. So I'm not trying to like be like that dude, but these dudes know the real me, and it's happy that these dudes are still fucking watching me. So thank you, Mark. But I wanted you to introduce you to Lo, because Lo is a great dude. And he is fucking tremendous at this life. He's not,
man.
He said he is not his accolades, but this dude is a tremendous dude. If y'all don't know who he is, y'all definitely lock in with him. So sorry for
I'm just
getting emotional there for a minute.
Nah, man, because you touching me right now, man, because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And whoever's listening, watching, I don't give a fuck, man. Tupac, Biggie, New York, Harlem World. I got gold and platinum records hanging up on my wall. That does not define my success. It's a fucking shame that it takes me everywhere I go. They say, bring your gold and platinum records, bring your gold and platinum records. And I put them on easels and the whole room is quiet. And I'd be like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all looking at me like this is my success? That's not my success. Those are goals. If I got in the hip hop industry, my goal is to sell records. If you get into this, your goal, when you reach your goal, that's fucking success. It may not be the music industry. I tell a little teenager, if your mom is constantly busting in your room, clean up this damn room. Clean up this room. I said, listen, sir, make it your goal. You have choir practice or you have basketball practice, soccer practice. By Friday, make it a goal to clean up your room. Do you know school from elementary school, high school, and college? All of those are goals. It's formatting your brain to reach a goal, what you call a diploma, what you call a college degree.
And a diploma don't get you shit in life. You need more than
It's
that. You need to
the
build up
goal of reaching that, and that success that you put into yourself. So anything that you apply yourself to, you have these attributes that you have went through the whole perseverance of studying, the whole perseverance of this training for this job or this trade school. Because like you said, college ain't for everybody. And that's what you format yourself to reach a goal. That's success.
Yeah.
So when I hear him saying what he's saying, motherfuckers wasn't checking for me in the beginning. Nobody knew who Low was. I just had people that was just instilling stuff in me.
Yep.
And the
Oh, dude,
last
that's what
thing
I'm
I'ma say,
happy. Like for real. Like, and just the fact that these dudes just hit me up. Like, I don't ask for it, but it's dope because that means a lot to me that they didn't give up on me. And
they didn't give up on you.
yeah,
An
because
old man told me, and I don't mean to cut you off, I'm very sorry.
Good.
And that's the last thing I'm gonna say, and that's what I wanted to, because I'm older now and I'll be forgetting stuff. I'll be on my phone like, damn, Jay, I'm looking for my phone. Like, Lo, you on your phone. So an old man told me, he said, if you're gonna fall on your back, because there's only one way to go, and that's up. Fuck everybody. Sometimes you got to be like that until people, because friendships and different things has to be tested nowadays, has to be earned and trust and all of that. And I get it. I get it. You Google Kevin Rames, you see Tupac's producing. Everybody's like, no, come on. It took a process for me to reach that level to work with Pac, Nas, and all of them. But my process wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to work with Tupac. Oh, I'm going to work with Nas. I'm going to work with Biggie. No. I met them during the course of my process. And what elevated me in my creation with music. I wasn't thinking about no Tupac when I was creating these beats. I wasn't thinking about Nas. I just got into the business and my focus. So that's where I tell people, you focus on what you are passionate about. And don't you listen. Don't listen to what people are saying. It's just an opinion. Everyone has a right to their opinion. But if you're not standing on something, you're going to fall for anything. And I'm just done. So you touched me what you said, Jay.
Yeah, that's just me, man. Like, I'm glad that somebody from that y'all can actually see that it's not like somebody that, was a big bro to me from back then that can verify this shit. And I'm not just paying him to do this and he's not saying this, man. But Boo is one of the realest motherfuckers I ever knew. And you fucking up, he would have told me straight up. He's like, hey, OJ, that looked like shit. Why are you doing that?
See?
And then we work on it. And
I was just having that conversation today with somebody. We need somebody to pull our coats.
Older now, and I'm like, man, and the shit because I always wanted that relationship with my dad. If I'm being honest with it, that's what. And I don't have daddy issues like that. I just have an issue with older men being threatening and trying to act ass because I will fuck you up. That's the only issue I have. Therapy. I've already been to therapy and all that. We figured out that's my issue. I don't have an anger problem. I just have a very bad disrespect problem to where I don't deal with it well because you know
You wrestle them, you put them in a wrestle movement, and I got
nah,
Nelson. You better chill. No,
I've been training to be a boxer since I was 4 years old, and then I became a wrestler.
Oh,
I
got
actually
you.
fought in a cage for 4 years before. Like literally, dude, I did the whole ass backwards. Usually people go wrestling, then fighting, then boxing. I went boxing, fighting,
Oh, wow.
wrestling.
Okay.
But and it was dope because it humbled me, especially because I was a violent asshole and did not like being told different things, had authority problem, and literally I got humbled real quick because I was around dudes that were bigger than me and could have. And you talk about trust, you have to have trust to actually go in the ring with somebody, want them to hold you over their head in the suplex, because one little fall, you know, and that's why, you know, I took life a lot differently ever since being that, because I still, you know, it's been technically 12 and a half years, but I still have a problem with my back from when I was in a battle royal we had, and my foot didn't hit the mat and my arms are still attached to the rope. And yeah.
Yep. It happens, man.
But,
I mean,
you know,
just from listening to you talk, man, I mean, I can tell you're humble.
Oh, dude, that's
I mean,
why I get
you
so
were
annoyed
humble
when people
back
talk
then,
shit
but
to
I
me.
can tell with your age and your maturity level now that you are humble. And that's one of the, I think that's one of the missing ingredients to life right now. Nobody's humble. Everybody's on Instagram,
They play humble, but
posting
they're really
pictures,
not.
acting like they're living their best life when it's like you live in the hood. You know what I mean? You went on vacation on income tax money, but you trying to make it look like you one of the damn Kardashians or something. When really we know you live right down the street. And I mean, a lot of people just aren't humble to their own reality. I think
But
that's
fair? Is it fair to say a lot of people just don't know how to be humble?
I mean, that
And sometimes things that happen in their life, they don't see that as teaching them to be humble.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it very well could be that. I mean, but I feel like at the same time, that's something that I mean, obviously being humble, something you gain with age, I would think.
Yeah, it
The
comes with
older
age.
you get,
It comes with age.
yeah,
Yes,
it definitely comes with age, and that's what I'm saying with Jay. Is like he's gotten older, and I can see it in him just listening to him talk. That he's gotten to that level in life. For one, he don't give a damn what nobody thinks, and that's a damn good place to be. Because if you're worried about what everybody else is saying, you're not focused on what you need to be doing.
No, like you remember me back, and it's funny. You know, I want to shout out Gray Matter, because the Gray Matter is one of the dopest artists, you know, I know, as far as being real and shit. And what we're speaking on, who represents, he's not the only one, but solid. He's in the comments. He said that, like, one of the things he thinks, like, I think the thing I hate for upcoming artists is other artists and promoters telling others don't work with that person. Most of them who say that are just haters, which we kind of spoke on that as far as, you know, being wrestlers, because I see that shit all the time. I don't want to take that dude off the spot. I want that spot, or I'm not showing back up here again, or I'm not dropping my title, because if you make me drop the title to lose to him, I'm not showing up again. I'm going to trash you. I've seen them conversations, dude. So I've seen that side of it, and then I do this side of it now, and I watch people. I'm like, dude, why are you being such a fucking brat? Which younger me would have, you know, got angry at the situation, but I see it now, and I'm like, dude, it's really not just one aspect of life; it's everything.
Yeah, but you've got to be willing to work with other people, though. I mean, just from the wrestling world itself, you had to work with other people. It wasn't, no, I don't want to do that with him. It's like, all right, then get the hell out. You've got to work with people. I mean, if you got beef with somebody, I get not working with them. But I mean, if this person can help you, if this is somebody that can help expand your audience and you can help expand theirs, why wouldn't you work together? It's counterproductive, in my opinion. Why wouldn't you work with somebody that could help put more eyes on you, or vice versa? I mean, you're helping each other out. No different than me being on your podcast is, you know, that's getting more eyes on me, you know, and saying, you know, same with Low. I like, not that Low's not known, but at the same time, we're people that aren't in your space normally.
Right. Hey, I want to say something to that, because y'all just brought back something that I forgot about. When you are recording your album and you're on the contract, right? We had to call I've been in all of the major studios down in Midtown Manhattan in New York, and down in Gramercy Park, uptown Manhattan. And do you know, the studios, they connect with each other. I'm not going to mention any names. But when we came to book our session, they said, hey, are you working with so and so and so and so and so and so? They have a list of people that they don't fuck with. So when you with a label and you have to block out like a whole week, because and Josh was the cool dude. He used to wear his hat like this, have the long hair, the big rock and roll boots that came up over his kneecap, but he could mix your album like make that kick, whatever. So I said, Josh, why everybody asks everybody like who you, because all the studios were connected that if y'all some fuck up dudes, y'all come up in the studio, we don't care how much records you selling. But you as a person, they will tell other studios, don't book them. Don't book them.
Again,
and when he told me the names, y'all, the names, because sometimes we come in and like I had the experience of like waiting 45 minutes to an hour for artists to come in. I'm with the engineers like, damn, where the fuck they at? Because people, characters and personalities, you are a fucking person before you are this and you are that. And that's what you are known for at the end of the day. That's why I mess with Jay, and now it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Yes, indeed.
Because we could have been doing all kind of other stuff right now, but we chose to be here. And hopefully people who are listening need to understand you can learn from different platforms of people who get it. And sometimes we move away from the basics.
Yep.
Because I could say something and somebody be like, damn, that shit is deep. No, it's not deep. It's just basic.
It's common sense. Some of it is.
Common sense. Why is common sense so deep to the world now?
Because a lot of people don't have it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes back to what I was saying earlier, just about like burning bridges and being accountable.
Yeah.
Like if you did that in wrestling, you're not getting booked. I mean, and that's no different than obviously some of these guys couldn't get into some of these studios because you've got this wild reputation where it's like studios ain't going to let you tear up their equipment or screw up their time or screw up their money making. I mean, a lot of it's on us. You've got to be, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about being accountable. You've got to be accountable for what you do. And if you do dumb shit, I mean, you do stupid things, you get stupid prizes usually. So that's usually how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know back then we had a lot of outboard gear, the processors, the compressors. You remember all of the racks, and you see all the lights and all this equipment and the racks and all of that.
Yep.
You couldn't smoke weed in the studio because they said smoke damages the equipment.
Yep.
So you have artists coming in, man, fuck that. I paid for this session. I'm gonna smoke where I want to fucking smoke.
Yep.
Instead of having respect for the platform.
The thing, bro. Nobody knows respect, bro.
Yep.
I'm just saying, y'all, you know, that's why I'm saying it's so nice to talk to gentlemen like yourself. It don't matter what platform you are on. Excuse me, because I'm eating.
Oh, you're good.
Doesn't matter what platform you're on, but it's the same shit across the board.
Yeah. I feel like respect is a dying ingredient of life. Like, I mean, nobody has respect no more. Everybody wants to try to be keyboard cowboys and talk a bunch of shit online, or they want to disrespect. Even people disrespect you in public where they just give you that look. Or I mean, it's just like nobody has respect or the patience to understand anybody anymore. That's what it seems like. I mean,
and again, I'm supposed to speak, you know, which Mark Bull can verify this, and so can Rob. As a group in the wrestling business, man, you sitting there getting changed with grown ass men. I dare your ass to go ahead and talk shit to the wrong motherfucker, because you know why? I've seen a greenhorn get snatched the fuck up by a naked individual, get walked the fuck to like literally pick the fuck up and full on fight, butt ass naked, and then it went back to change, or you know, not hit somebody real quick, like, oh, you thought that was funny, okay. And we're not talking ill on the rest, but it's just, you know, that's respect, y'all. Like, this is the same. This is one thing I don't understand, you know, and you can verify it, because the reason why I act like I do is because this is me. Like, I've always been this dude. It's just before my accident, my biggest problem was I always had to be the most physically gifted dude in the room, because that's how my dad made me, and it fucked me up, you know. Yeah. And after my accident, I had to learn how to value life without relying on them gifts. So now that I'm, you know, I can barely walk around and I'm limping around and all that shit. That's not how I was raised to be, and that's not my personality. It's so I had to rework my personality, like you said, humble myself, which I did, because the fact that I went from being able to hold 200 pounds right here and seriously carry shit and just keep going and non fucking stop, because I did not. Dude, I'm not trying to sit there and relive the glory days. It's just I'm speaking on myself. That's why I'm playing only songs I'm gonna play tonight are my sponsors. I'll play them at the end of the show, but I'm just happy that I have somebody here to verify this shit. I was that dude that wanted this shit so fucking bad. I sacrificed everything just like I did now. I had to rework my life, but I'm happy that it happened now, me being older to the stage I'm at now, because younger me would have found a way to fuck this up. Because I was more worried about being famous than I was actually
putting in the work. Yep.
I remember I was touring in many different dangerous neighborhoods.
Yeah, I did, Rob. I did pick your ass up. Like that's like, and I'm not just because literally, dude, I was that dude. Like, and it breaks my heart to sit there and look at pictures of myself and watch videos of me just doing the shit now. I'm like, I know I can barely move.
Oh, you evolved. See, at the end of the day, you evolved, bro. And somebody needs to hear that because they need to evolve.
Oh, dude, I was not a good dude. I was so fucking
we
bad.
all wasn't. Who was?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Low. Okay, since you want to open that up, I was the dude. If I saw you, if I saw y'all arguing with somebody, right? And I'll be like, I love these niggas, man. They some good dudes. Why this nigga want to mess with them, right? Low would be the one that'll punch them in their face when nobody expected it.
Yep. Oh, dude,
and they'll be like, "Oh shit, no, what you doing? Man, fuck this talk, man. He talking too much, man. I love y'all niggas, man. Fuck this nigga, right?" But hold on, look what that evolved to. One day I was coming out of Walgreens. This guy's backing his truck up, and this dude was getting out of his car with his young lady. They were laughing and joking with each other, and he was backing up, and he didn't see them. And dude was like, "Yo, hold up, man, hold up, yo, chill." He was like, "Man, fuck you, man, get the fuck out of the way," right? And I was coming up to where he was at in the driver door, and he looking at me like, "What?" Right? I was like, "Yo, homie, man, come on, man, he with his girl, man." I knew I could beat him up. See, is Low gonna come out?
My biggest problem.
Is Low? Hold on. Is Low gonna come out or the new evolved Low? It's like, come on, homie, I get you, son. And he'd be like, "Man, who the fuck is you?" And I run up on his truck. I'll be like, "Yo, pull your phone out real quick. Look at me, man." He's like, "Oh, shit. Come on, man. He just rocking with his girl, man. I love niggas like you, man. But come on, you can't be doing that." And this nigga give me a hug and shit, and he'll go and apologize to dude and his girl. You see, sometimes it takes us to impact the ignorance and the people who just don't fucking get it anymore.
Right.
But something as simple as this man walking with his young lady. She got on stilettos. She can't walk fast enough.
Right.
But he backing the truck up like, "Y'all need to get the fuck out of my way." How do you impact a mental? That's why I started Groundwash, man. I impact those motherfucking mindsets.
There you go.
So people who are watching your shit, man, sometimes it takes those who have a sphere of influence to shut that shit down.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I said.
I'm trying to tell you, and that's what you're doing.
I'm just trying to.
That's what you're doing when I hear your story, sir. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
I ain't stopped. This is shit now. 24 years in the making, yo, and I'm happy to where I'm at because I just hosted my first show. You know, and it was crazy because I thought when I first was it was like there's people there and it was cold as shit, and I'm like, I picked up the mic like, "Hey, who's hosting?" I thought it'd just be like doing a promo of wrestling. It is not. It is so fucking not, because I'm not in the middle of a ring. I'm not sitting there. People around me. There's people right in front of me. There's lights on me, and I wanted to like literally do like I didn't practice nothing. I didn't know I was gonna be hosting. It's just I was gonna be stage managing. So I was like, all right, who's doing it? She's like, "Oh, you know, if you want to, you can." I'm like, fuck. All right. So I had to sack up, and I had to tap into the former. I had to tap into a little bit of Xavier and J3 status, and dude, even though I was nervous as shit, I'm like, damn, I forgot this feeling, because that's a feeling I haven't had since, you know, 12 years because I forgot what it's like to sit there and get the joy out of strangers. That's what the thing that made me happy to be on stage. It was like to be in the ring. It was never to show I was badass. It was because, you know, I was that dude started out wrestling, you know, pulling the couch cushions when mom and dad was gone, and to actually legit do it and get paid for it. I didn't need the stage, yo. I didn't need the big show. WrestleMania and all that would have been cool. I lived my fucking dream.
Yeah.
Like, I lived my dreams at a young age. I wanted to be a pro fighter. Did that shit when I was 20. And, you know, to be 34 now, 4 kids, and you better get around, y'all. Yeah, that humbles the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but
you've gotten to a space, though, in your life where you know what you've done significant enough for you to be happy with.
Yeah, I don't need to, like, what made me really want to get away from any kind of that lifestyle was when I used to be a security guard at the bar I worked at with my ex, and dude was sitting there getting mouthy, about 6'3", probably about a good 280 maybe. Sitting there talking shit, literally. Are you done? No fucking heads, just literally, and I put him down, and he started keeping. So I grabbed his ass and shoved him up against the fucking wall. No effort to it. That's what scared the shit out of me.
Yo, Jay, you 6'3"? You 6'3"?
No, I'm 6 foot, dude. I'm almost 6 foot, but
man, you look short.
Oh, dude, until everybody sees me, they're like, holy shit. But back then, back when I used to be like actually in shape and shit, I was always at least 80% muscle. I'm still like 60%, give or take, maybe. But it humbled me to realize I'm like, I hate that because how instantly that instinct. But you put me in front of a fucking stage to, you know, I can't do it. But you put me in a dangerous environment. I'm like, all right, I need to find a way to make this where I can make this better. Because I know how I am, and I know there's somebody else like me that's angry, but they don't know why they're angry, and they have that. So, and I can't fight no more, so what can I do? And then I let shit go for a little bit, and then it came to where it became what this is now. Yeah. So for those of you that think that, I can't figure out a way, trust me. I've had I've been a semi-pro football player. I've been a fucking pro fighter. I've been a pro wrestler.
The thing about all that is, though, you haven't given up. You just keep trying something else, as opposed to somebody, oh man, wrestling doesn't want me anymore.
And the crazy fucking thing is, I never planned for any of this. It's just it's like everything else. It just you know,
it's the way life goes, man.
And it's never, because I was always like, damn, like what the fuck? I'm like, it's crazy as hell. And I'm like, because I started wondering, like, why is everybody saying the same thing about me in my different stages of life? Like, dude, you're a good dude. Like, just keep doing your thing.
Yep. Because you obviously are. You obviously are if people keep telling you that.
And that's the thing for when I realized just talking to these young dudes, I'm like, I wish that there was a gateway for these dudes to understand. Like when I met on LinkedIn with Flo, he was like, yeah, artist development is no longer a key thing. He's right. Just like there's no really development for anything. It's got to where even though we're in the same room, like you heard Low Kid going earlier, we got our phones. Nobody really communicates like they have to anymore.
Nope.
Nobody has that interaction anymore. Like I have that issue with my my oldest daughter, well, my youngest daughter. And I can't really get on her because I was that socially awkward kid, but there's a reason why I was. But now
the world we live in now and the world that we grew up in is two different things. I've been in situations where I've seen people texting each other and they're in the same damn room.
Stupid.
Yeah, where it's like, what, you can't say it in front of me? You know what I mean? To where it's like we've gotten to this point where you see, like I've been to nightclubs and shit to where you see people, they're looking down at their phones, they ain't on the dance floor. They looking down, they doing this. Looking down at their phone when you at somewhere you done paid good money for a cover charge and all this shit, and then you're gonna go there just so you could take pics with your girls and be on your phone all night.
Well, and that's why it was weird when everybody, because I never wanted to get involved with music. Everybody's like, dude, be a promoter, be this, be that. I'm like, no, you don't want me to, because I'm not the dude that to tell you like, oh yeah, how's this? Because I'm a wrestler. I know what it's like to build a character.
Yeah.
I know if you're full of shit or not because, and especially, I'm not going to sit there and argue with you if you suck on the mic and your stage person sucks. Especially if I know I can handle that part for you, been there, done that, yo.
Right.
I might not be able to sing and all that, but I know my shit, so I'm not just somebody that's going to sit there and like, hey, yo, that's cool because I need your attention.
I want to
I
pass
can
this
do it
to
on my
y'all.
own, yo. It's just I don't really understand what the need for now because we didn't have this thing where it was a coattail riding bullshit. We didn't really do that. Everybody was trying to do their own thing, be their unique individual, the own
Right.
to be original.
Right.
Now it's I want to be the next so and so. I want to be just like this. I want to be the next that.
But don't know how to do it. They don't know how to what goes behind the scenes to get there. And I think I saw something today where a man put a jar full of fleas in a jar. They jumping all up on the top and everything trying to get out the jar, right? He left it there for 3 days and he came back and took the top off. So the fleas no longer tried to get out of the jar. They stayed with the same level because that's what they were used to.
Mm-hmm.
And when he turned the jar upside down, guess what? They didn't know they were free. They still jumping up the same length of that jar. And I found that so fascinating. And I'm thinking about what you guys are saying. And sometimes people don't know shit.
Yeah.
They relying on social media. They're relying, but they don't know. It's almost like if they put an apple in a fucking jar and they got the damn monkey, he's reaching in the jar to try and grab the apple and realize his hand is stuck.
Yep.
All you got to do is fucking open your hand.
Right.
So
That's
it's
like,
that philosophy. Is that philosophy. And the last one that captivated me, an eagle. When an eagle has its young, and the young is getting bigger and bigger, guess what the eagle does in the nest? It starts taking apart the nest, making that shit uncomfortable for its young. Because how else am I going to teach your ass how to fly? So if I make the nest uncomfortable, you have no other fucking choice but to fly. That's what's happening in today's society. People don't know how to fly. People don't know how to go to the next level because they're used to the same old bullshit. So let me fake it till I make it.
Some people don't want to fly. I mean,
No,
some people
they
just don't want to fly.
But they
and
don't
then
know
blame,
how.
and then blame other people why they ain't flying.
Exactly.
It's this person's
Blame.
fault. Like, no, it's your fault. It's your wings. If you can't fly, that's your fault. Flap them bitches and fly. Like, it's not. I mean, that's what I was saying about accountability. Everybody's got a boogeyman or somebody they want to blame for their problems. When, like I said, for some things, yeah, you might have a legitimate argument. This person might have did you wrong, but if this person is, if you tell me a story where this person's done you wrong 6 or 7 times, why is this person
you
still
like
in your
getting
life?
bit by that at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like once I see the flame is hot, I don't need to touch it again. And some of these people keep touching the flame, like, oh man, it's hot. No shit, the flame. We all know it's hot.
It never changed. It's hot. Dumb motherfucker. You know, but
well, you can speak again because we can speak from a unique perspective because we've been entertainers from a whole different level of are putting us because, dude, if I don't give a shit if you like you just said somebody 6 times in a row. If we go to a ring that has a dead spot in it and it's just dead spots every fucking where, are we gonna go back to that same ring and wrestle again?
I know I ain't gonna go back to that dead spot. I know that much.
I'm just talking about like if the whole ring, like we go to this venue, the whole fucking ring, like the ropes are all fucking wobbly. The fucking ring is just you can see literally the dead spots. Like it's not even dead. It's just there's boards fucking missing. Right. Are we gonna go back after this fucking show?
Probably not. That's a strong no.
Yeah. So what if we keep allowing a certain situation to fuck us over?
Let's talk about the idiots though. The idiots that'll be like, man, I know it's fucked up over there, but I can fucking do it anyway.
Right. They're sitting there at least, we're at least getting paid $400. Yeah. You know what? That's real fucking nice. But you know what's going to happen if your ass falls through that ring and hits that fucking concrete? I know what's going to happen. So, that's where I have that perspective from things. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what kind of opportunity it is. It'd be dope to, but if it's fucking suspect, it's a reason why it's suspect, y'all. Look into it because it's not worth the the fucking risk at that point is not fucking worth the reward. Like, it's not worth it because, yeah, that risk is way higher than the fucking reward on that point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you gotta take calculated risk in life. I mean, you always got to bet on yourself, of course, but you got to know what your limitations are as well. And a lot of people don't know their limitations. They think they can do everything. A lot of people think they can multitask when they can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Nope.
So I mean, that's
And all
part of the
these
problem.
facts. We saying all these facts, right? And like I said, Jay, no, I'm one that try to impart something because I don't know who's listening and they're hearing different jewels in their ear. I'm one to like to make someone walk away and think. You cannot usher into your destiny on a comfort zone.
Nope.
No.
Because you're too comfortable and you are afraid to take risks, like y'all talking. People are afraid to do that shit because it's going to remove them from a comfort zone. How else can you elevate? You cannot climb a smooth mountain.
Elevate right there. Nobody really
You
wants to.
cannot climb a smooth mountain, man. It was never easy for me.
Right.
You know, and then you learn after a while to appreciate all of the trials and tribulations that you have gone through to arrive where you are. That's what grows you. That's what matures you.
Yep.
It does.
To be able to look back on your life and think to yourself, I did that. I made it through all that. There was a time when I was homeless. There was a time when I didn't have, you know what I'm saying? When you can think about all the shit you've been through and then realize, man, I'm living pretty good now. I'm doing pretty good now. My life's all right now. And then look back 10 years ago and think how hard it was for you or how you weren't doing as good as you are now. It's just that full circle moment when you realize, man, everything I've done to this point was worth it.
Remember, we used to have this thing called member, not remember. Remember when we did that? Remember that shit? Remember, look at us now, man. Remember that?
And a lot of the problem too, which Lo can relate to this, me and Lowe's talked about this on the podcast a couple of times, you know, a lot of the dudes that's coming up now don't pay respects to people that paved the way for them, yo.
Nah.
They think they's like, oh well, you're nobody gives a shit. Like, bruh, you have no idea what that dude had to go through just for the fact that your disrespectful ass could say that shit. Because if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have it so fucking easy. Because shit, like we talking about, there's when we was doing it, well, especially me, because you retired recently more than I did. I said, like, we would travel, maybe we get a hot dog, depending on how if the show sold out. If the show had a good amount, yeah, we'd maybe walk away $10, $20.
Yeah.
But most of it was just a hot dog, hopefully, because trust me, I don't give a shit what y'all, like I said, wrestling's not fake, it's choreographed. 15 fucking minute match of just straight all eyes on you, no fucking up. That's a lot of fucking stand-up, and it humbled the fuck out of me because again, I came from that being a cage fighter, knowing how that like to just because you go, and you're telling a story. And if you do not tell that story correctly, nobody's gonna believe what the hell you're doing.
Right.
So and you have to be an athlete on top of that.
Yeah.
You can sit there and do flips all day long. The Lucha Libre is awesome, but nobody gives a shit how many flips you do if the match sucks.
Right.
Because wrestling fans are fucking brutal. Music fans are cool. They are not as brutal as wrestling fans, especially diehard wrestling fans.
Yeah,
they'll give you the business. They'll give you the business. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you, living in New York, Madison Square Garden, after a wrestling match, they were jumping on top of the cabs, like,
Really? Do not go out to the crowd. Why? Because Rob just pissed them off. They're throwing shit to the fucking ring.
Off.
Man, you do, Rob?
You ain't got to tell me. I seen it in New York.
I sent his ass a link. I wish he would jump on here and tell some of this shit. But dude, you want to talk about fucking creating heat?
Crazy. Crazy. I witnessed
wrestler, bro. We know how to turn a fucking crowd up and make them fucking cheer. You want to talk about heat and beef? Have you made a whole city sit there and hate you before you showed up? I guarantee you haven't. Me and Rob have.
Hey, gentlemen.
So he taking little kids' hot dogs and shit, walking to the
Hey.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm not saying this because I regret my kids and all that, but dude, I am so glad I had like if I can go back and do anything, I would have made me just appreciate the fact of what I was going through that young because it taught me so fucking much. Because if I didn't have that back then, I'd be doing the same dumb shit everybody my age is doing now and not trying to elevate myself.
Right.
So
And
thank
that's
you
the key.
again, Mark, because dude, y'all, like it taught me a lot, especially coming into this lifestyle. You want to talk about stage presence and how to fucking turn some shit up? I know some motherfuckers you could talk to. But and we did it without doing anything but just putting on a show, putting on a dope ass promo, interacting with the crowd. Because if we didn't have the crowd into it, we didn't make any fucking money.
Yeah, they ain't gonna come back next week. I mean, that's
The
all. That's
booker's
a
not
lot
going
of
to
it.
call you back, and a lot of these fans, like we had them, they would travel to each show with you.
Yeah, oh yeah. There'd be companies I'd work for where it'd be, I'd go from Cincinnati to working up Hamilton or Dayton or something like that, and you'd see some of the same people because if you're doing your job well enough, they will follow you. And that's
Hey,
one thing I
man.
learned. I mean, there's all the way up until some of my last shows,
And
there'd
we
be
were
fans
doing this
I've
without
known
social
for
media.
years. Oh, I mean, there were fans I'd known for years where they'd see you. Oh man, Magnum's here. Like they knew they're going to at least see a decent match, at least one of them. Like, and that was the cachet you'd get with some fans, and that's the music or anything else. People will travel if you're good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, gentlemen, I got to bounce. But one thing that you guys are saying is like, man, it just sparks so much in my mind. And what I want to say before I bounce is that a wolf cannot survive in sheep's clothing. It gets uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the real will recognize the real, but in today's world, you have a lot of phonies hiding, but they cannot hide for long. And the unfortunate thing about that is when they are found out, it's embarrassing to them. You see, and
Yep.
sometimes that causes people to commit suicide because you've been portraying this image that you wanted the world to see you as. So that's why I like to yeah, that shit is true, but it can be so unfortunate because that shit means life to these phony ass motherfuckers. That's their life. They live their life to be phony. It's almost like what we can relate, like back in the days, this dude keeps circling the club. Hey, they go that Benz again. They go that Benz again. Why the fuck he don't come into the club? He keeps circling the club.
Yeah.
So everybody could see him in his Benz. Not knowing that that's what he lived his life as to be. Just look at me, look at me, look at me. So, man, I got to bounce, man. I love this conversation, but I'm
Hey,
sorry I have to
Lo, I
go,
must
man.
appreciate, and I
Nice to
love
meet you,
appreciate you.
sir.
Me and
Yes,
Lo
sir.
talk I'm sure I'll probably you'll call me tomorrow at some point.
Oh, yeah. We always talk, Jay.
Yeah,
Anytime,
appreciate you.
sir. Hey, sir, it's an honor to meet you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Same to you, Lo.
Hey, anytime, sir. I'm not hard to get in touch with. I love this life, thought-provoking conversations. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean?
Yes, it does. Yes,
And
it
I
does.
just definitely walking away from some stuff. Y'all got me thinking, man. I'm probably going to do a track about this conversation.
Hey, you
There
already
you
know.
go.
Come at me with it, Lo. You know I got you when it comes to anything. And well, you already know what's about working on for me because we're working on my first track. I need to wait for Bug to get back from the Grammys, and we're gonna get to working on that. So me and D Ward's working
All
on the
right.
lyrics, and we're gonna be having a theme song for Straight Savvy here soon too. So again,
All right.
this is crazy, dude. It's crazy as hell that 20-year-old me that y'all had to sit there like, bro, don't do that. Why are you doing that? What is wrong with you? Is literally
Right.
talking about conversations and leading shit now. It's crazy as hell.
But all right, man. Y'all
All right.
take care.
Take it easy, Lo.
Much love, Lo. Yeah, that Lo is a good dude. Like I told you, he was jumping on and people take advantage of it because he's like Tupac producer. That's what they want to focus on.
Yeah.
They forget a lot. Thug Life meant something. The Boog was a part of that, and
Yeah.
Pac had a lot going on before he went to Death Row. So it's dope to talk with Lo about that and actually talk with a real dude because you got Ground Watch too. So what he's doing with that, man, it's great to have people out there that been in them rooms that know them people and actually beyond the facade of it that are legit doing something. So
Yes, indeed.
much love, Rob. Appreciate you jumping in. I wish you would have jumped on here with us. But nah, that was dope, man. I figured for real, since it was just you on here, if you want to sit here and listen to my sponsors songs, then we can bounce out too.
All right.
Definitely keep in touch, man. It was really great. Just
Oh yeah,
I
it was
grew up a
awesome
little.
to catch up,
Like, don't get
man.
me
Hell
wrong. Like,
yeah.
I got a lot of shit still to do, but after my accident fucked me up, man. Like, I was in the hospital for a year straight, and they figured out that I have POTS, and it affects my nervous system, like to the point. And you know what I used to do? Like Rob said, Rob was a big dude. I used to pick him up like it wasn't shit.
Yeah.
I can barely pick up 20 pounds and not be in tremendous amount of
Yeah,
pain.
that's
So
where I'm at with my back.
I'll
So I'm
do.
right there with you. I feel you, man. I feel you.
I had to get humbled real fucking quick, bro.
Yeah,
So
it's humbling.
yeah,
That's for
it's
sure.
just
When you go from taking all the groceries in one trip to being a true trip nigga, you know what I mean? Where it's like 2 or 3 trips where it's like, man, I used to grab all 9, 12 of these bags at one time. Now it's like I gotta go out and have the kids help me and shit. It's trust me, bro. I already know it's humbling as fuck. I already know.
yeah, man. I'm glad that you get it because, dude, like literally just the fact, like what we used to do, like it's not for everyday average people, y'all. Don't think we would just. It's one thing I hate when people watch wrestling. It might just be me personally, and when it comes to any kind of contact sport, regular average people, you have no fucking idea what
Oh
we had
yeah.
to go through.
Oh yeah, I've had plenty of people. Oh, that fake stuff. Like, bitch, if you only knew. Like, if you only knew, let me body
Dude,
slam
I
your
still got
ass one
scars from
time.
fucking getting chopped.
That's what I'm saying. Like, let me body slam your ass one time. Let me hit you with a superplex one time,
Club
and
right to the
and
fucking
tell me if
skull.
it's fucking fake. Tell me if the pain that goes through your body isn't real.
Or let me go ahead and do a fucking kick right to your face and
Yeah,
oops, big
I
boot
mean,
to the. Oh, dude, that shit hurts.
yeah. I mean,
Hurts, no.
it is what it is. People are always going to think what they think, but the same people that say that are the ones that will go to a Star Wars movie dressed up like a stormtrooper. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
we're
wait a
not
minute.
hating y'all. It's just y'all be real with it. Like again, this is 2 people that have done that, and we ain't just talking shit to talk shit. It's just
Well,
y'all are
it's just a level of disrespect I refuse
to
to
do.
accept.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to disrespect what I did for 12 fucking years of my life, and I watched to this day, and I've watched basically the entire time I've been on this planet. And granted, it's not for everybody. I get that, but I'm not over here dissing what y'all into. I'm not dissing opera. You know what I mean? Or whatever, just because that might be what you're into. Cool. This is what I'm into. Don't sit there and denigrate it, because if that's the case, I'll denigrate you. That's one thing I will jump off the deep
And,
end on. Don't talk shit about my sport.
and that's where people kind of get offended and they get mad. They're like, "Oh, well, don't do that."
Like, man, no. I mean, I like to think I've gotten humbler in my older age, but that's one thing I will jump off the deep end for. You're not going to disrespect what I used to do and what other guys still do, guys that I know have done, guys that I know still do it, guys that I know that are in
Nick's
WWE
retired
that are
too, right?
doing it. Huh?
Nick's retired too, right?
I'm pretty sure he's retired. I mean, I don't know for sure. I haven't even talked to Nick in a while, but yeah, I would think that he's pretty much retired.
Yeah, I know because I think most of the people. I don't even think anybody that I used to. Yeah, no, I don't think only one I know that's still doing anything is JD. But
Yeah,
JD was young as hell when
JD's
we were
still
young.
working. I know Dre's still working.
Yeah,
And
because JD's the one that sent me the link to the YouTube page. I'm like, oh, dude, looking at my young ass and sitting there just watching. I'm like, you, damn.
Rob, I know you're still in the chat more than likely. Your ass still wrestle?
He said he was dumb. He said he had to get. I think he does though.
I know the last time I talked to him, he was still kind of doing the manager thing, but I don't know
Yeah,
if he was actually
I
still
know
getting
he
in
has a
there.
venue that he's promoting and all that at. So
Gotcha.
in Indiana, because I was going to go out there and run it, meet up with him because he hit me up out of the blue one day. He was like, dude, because it humbled the shit out of me because I didn't really know. I haven't really talked with y'all much. And just the fact that y'all would hit me up and like, hey, yo, I'm proud of you. I'm like, damn. Because it means more to me that y'all say that than my dad and anybody else because y'all was there for a lot of me maturing and the dumb shit that I did.
Yep.
So
I remember Rob hitting you in the head with that damn leaf blower and all. I mean, it's good times all the way around, bro. It's good times all the way around, bro. It is what it is. We had fun with it. That's the main thing for me at this point because you get to a point where you realize, all right, I didn't make it to WWE or none of the bigger companies. At the end of the day, all you have is the memories of what you did and the friends you made, and it's not even about making the friends, but it happens. You know what I mean? Like, I went into wrestling, I wasn't really worried about making friends. It was more about trying to get somewhere and do something that I love. And then at the end of the day, you do have friends. Some of them are acquaintances, but you do have genuine friendships with some of these people. And it's good to go back and think of the memories, because I mean, like you talked about Blackhawk earlier. That's a man that I miss to this day. Like, rest in peace, Blackhawk. Because there's a lot of things that, you mean well when when you haven't seen it. Hey man, we need to hang out sometime, and then that never happens. So I mean, it's one of those situations where you wish you could spend more time with people, but at the same time, we're all living our lives. And you've got your things going on. I've got my things, where everybody's got their own shit going on, to where it's not always easy to link up like that. But when shit like that happens, and like I was saying with Cedric passing away, it makes you realize sometimes you do need to stop and smell the roses for a second, and not just be balls to the walls on your purpose, which you're supposed to obviously be on your purpose. But sometimes you can just pump the brakes for a minute. And
oh, dude, seeing Dan in that hospice bed and then talking with him and just seeing him like that fucking crushed me.
Yeah. I seen the pictures online. I couldn't bring myself. I just like, no.
Oh, dude, it was like
it
was heartbreaking.
Yeah,
just sitting there holding his hand and him barely, but trying, being the best Dan, being Dan, man. Like to the end, Dan was that dude, man.
Oh yeah, I used to love me some Dan. As like when Ruthie sent me the video of him, it was just sad to see. Just like, man, what the hell? Like it makes you realize how much time had went by. I think that's what it was for me, because it's like I hadn't seen him since we'd wrestled. Because every time I'd always see him, would always be black on black crime, and he'd always be saying that bullshit to me all the time. I love Dan.
Xavier. I'm like, dude, I've been retired for 10 fucking years now.
That's what I'm saying. Like I love Dan. He was a good guy, and all. I never had one bad word to say about the guy. So I mean, it's sad to see guys that we know, and he's not the only one. There's plenty of guys that we know that are no longer here, and it's
right. Wrestling is really what. If I didn't have y'all, it really would have not helped me understand a lot of more things. Like I said, I just like third time I said it for real. So for y'all youngins, definitely do not run away from them dudes. Like I'm that dude now. So the guy that y'all was for me, I am that guy. And that's why I made a joke to somebody. I was like, man, at the show, I do 7-way. And I even did it to my Bubba Bam Bam. I was like, I used to be the dude that everybody would either say, dude, you're fucking up. Come on.
Everybody trying to pull you to the side, trying to be a big uncle to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I am that dude. Like, hey, yo, bro.
Now you're big uncle.
Yeah. And I'm like, because people at the for a little bit were hitting me up like, hey, yo, help me with this group chat. Help me with this. Help me direct that. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
I used to be the dude that was in the cause of all kinds of disruption. And it wasn't because I was disrespectful. It's just I wanted that shit so fucking bad because the only thing I gave a fuck about was being famous.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about anybody else, and I didn't realize how stupid of me that was.
Well,
like how selfish of me like that was until I got older.
I believe it's one of those things where you realize fame's not that as good as you thought it was.
It's not, because when you really get to the point of the people that have been like, whoa, like right there.
Yep.
That dude is fucking Hall of Fame, and he didn't overstep, didn't sit there, fought his shit, peacock or anything.
Well, I mean, a lot of it for me would be that you have people that just don't realize like the dynamic of being humble, and just knowing that what you were doing when you was younger is not what you're doing now. And like I was saying, when Dude was on, when Lowe was on, like that full circle moment when you realize, all right, I was here when I was 20. I was here when I was 25. I was here when I was 35. And now here I am. For me, I'm about to be 45. And just every instance of your life towards like, okay, I was kind of a dirtbag when I was in my 20s. I kind of matured a little bit when I was 25. I got a little bit of a better head on my shoulder when I was 30. By the time I was 35, I knew what the fuck I was supposed to do. And now here I am almost 45. And I'm happy where I'm at. And you've got to get to that point. Some people get that earlier in life. Some people get that much earlier in life, where you go to college and you just know, or you grew up on the family farm and that you're just going to do the family business. Everybody's got their own shit. But I mean, at the same time, you've got to understand the process that you went through to get to where you are now.
You do.
And the trauma that you've been through and the pain that you've been through, to understand, all right, man, I went through all that. And I can sit there and like a lot of people seem to do these days, they want to use that as a crutch. Oh, this guy did this or this girl did that. And they want to live by that for the next 10 fucking years. When it's like, how about you just be happy with the present? Because because my grandma always used to say a day above dirt's a good day.
This.
And it's like, sometimes you don't realize how good you've got it. And a lot of people just want everything to be like it is on TV, or they want everybody's got to have that fancy life, or like I was saying, they want to have that instant money, that quick fix, that lotto ticket type of lifestyle. And most of us are never going to get that. There's a reason there's a top 1%. Most of us aren't in it.
Smoking mirrors too, because we know firsthand, like we had, especially being the business. This isn't breaking nothing. You know, we've seen characters that they presented as millionaires that, but that's just how it's presented.
Yeah,
because that's what society. You know, again, that's why I love the Vince McMahon documentary that they did that's on Netflix, but I don't. But that's how the wrestling business is now compared to when we were younger, because you never talked about what goes on or showed beyond the gorilla and everything. Now it's openly because everybody accepts it.
Well, hell, when I was a kid, you didn't even know how to get into wrestling. When I was
you never saw the good guys and bad guys together. Never.
No. And that's what I'm saying. Like when I was a kid, you never knew how to get into wrestling. Like it wasn't like, oh man, go to this such a no. There's just a group of guys that travel around in their underwear, kicking the shit out of each other every week. And you never knew how to get in until I was in my fuck. I was almost 28 before I
unless you were
wrestling.
Down south in the promotion or in the territories.
Yeah, if you were in the thick of it, that's one thing. But I'm saying if you're a kid just watching this shit at home, you had no clue. Now, no different than with music. Now anybody can just put a camera in front of their face and start rapping, and they think they're a fucking star. And it's like it takes more than that. It takes more than sampling somebody else's shit, or you know what I'm saying, where you're using their beat and you just put your rhyme on top of it. That ain't that. I mean, is that talent? Yeah, but that's not that homegrown natural. I'm doing mixtapes out of my trunk. You know what I mean? The old cassette tapes. None of that. It ain't no old school hustle. Now it's a new age, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm hating on that.
No, Lowe said that on last time I was on with, because they started out, having to do the actual cassettes, chop them.
Yeah.
But he's like this whole, and then Boog was the DJ back then and went live with me and does the ones and twos. Nobody understands what that shit is.
Not anymore. No, they got beat machines and all that other shit where you ain't even. I mean, that's my thing. You don't have to have.
And that's not being disrespectful. It's just and like we said on the wrestling business, compared to when we started, like he said, Tim, when we first wanted to break in, nah.
Yeah. Well, now you don't have, I mean, especially for the music, not to say that there's people that don't have talent, but you don't have to have as much talent as you used to have. Because back in the day, you had to work your ass off to get a record label to notice you. Now we all have cell phones in our pocket. All we got to do is post it online, and hopefully if it goes viral, boom, you're famous somehow. You know what I mean?
Well, that and now the Hot Tour girl, that kind of fucked a lot of things.
I was about to say that too, but I didn't want to go there. But yeah.
I'll go there, dude. I was especially with all the bullshit going on now. Like I said, this shit a year ago, what was going to start happening, because people have to find a need or a gimmick to be successful in life, yo. So they're gonna reach for whatever they can, and then usually what they go for are the realest motherfuckers in the room. Because you can't shake a real motherfucker, because a real dude is going to keep going no matter what you're saying. And that's why I appreciate, knowing what I did younger, and how because I seen dudes that were the best heels perfectly, had trash thrown on them in the ring, but take away from the ring, nicest dudes you could ever meet.
Oh yeah.
So I know the whole role of playing a whole dirt bag and trash bag and how to play the shit. And I've seen it personally. So these dudes, I'm sitting there like, dude, that's not how you do that. Like unless you're really going to be that person, don't be that person.
Yeah.
And having to explain that to people, they like, I don't really understand it. Like, that's because y'all have got to the point where y'all think y'all see, oh, that person did it, let me try it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Nobody's
I tagged Morgan earlier, because she, you remember little Morgan that used to be our biggest I ran into her on Snapchat. I'm like, oh hell no, I'm my number one fan. She said, so when I grew up watching that man wrestle, tell him I love him.
Yep. It's the way it is, man. I mean, a lot of people have fond memories of stuff that sometimes you don't even remember yourself until they remind you about.
I ran into my Pee Wee coach today, and I remember that dude being so tall to me. Now I look down on that man.
No doubt, brother.
Black Bull, man, I appreciate this, man, for real. Like, this is why, this is the only 2 songs I'm gonna play tonight, because it's my 2 sponsors. But for real, thank you for being that dude I needed back then, man. That's the one thing I wish I can go back and just tell myself, like, dude, literally, I know you listen to these dudes, you took it to heart, but literally appreciate this just a little bit more because you're not getting what in 13 years, this is not going to be existent because nobody really does this anymore.
Right.
Like just to sitting there and learning and being a family, like we were not like everything. It was cool being back there and watching how, you know, shit would be because, you know, you always have your leader in the locker room, THC, Mountain, ran shit. We did training. There was structure.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to put shit up on the wall, y'all, it's going to be shit.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
Thank y'all for that because we all could have just rolled out the fucking mats and left it all be because that's what it is nowadays as far as what I see with music because it's not that easy, y'all. That's just part of it. There's a lot more to it. Are you willing to put the work in? Are you willing to listen? Are you willing to hone your craft? If not, what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody that had to learn that the hard way and really appreciate the fact and somebody right here that had to, you know, pull me aside and say, "Oh, bro, this is why I'm telling you this," along with a couple other ones. So, yeah,
thank you. My mindset is always, especially when I see certain people, especially brothers, because brothers in the wrestling business, I don't think get their fair shake to where it's like I want to, you know, if I can help this guy in any way, the same way I was with Cedric when I first met him. He wanted to do all the lucha libre flying around the ring. It's like, dude, have you seen what you look like in the mirror without your shirt on? Why the fuck would you know what I mean? It was like, you got to tell some people, like, I know you want to wrestle that style, but it's like, bruh, you the best built guy here. Why would you want to do what Freak's doing?
Flippy shit, he would get himself fucking hurt.
Well, yeah, that too, but I'm just saying, like, your look, his look was one of those, just like, bro, you the best built guy here. Why are you trying to do what Timmy Joe and Freak and some of these other guys are doing? You got to be unique, and you're the one guy that looks unique to all of us.
He looked like an actual fucking wrestler.
Yeah, like none of us looked like you. At least at that particular time, where it was just like none of us looked like you. Be unique. Be that big ass strong dude that's just beasting on people and tossing them everywhere. And that's yeah.
And that's what, you know, well, that's what it made me really appreciate, you know, again now because learning from that because there was dudes that we knew, like we said one of the best physical looked like a fucking
he looked
he had the look.
Yeah, he looked the part.
There's different aspects to this life, y'all. And that's what made me have to really, because there was dudes that we knew that I knew for a fucking fact that you had more talent than same with Nick. But I seen dudes get other opportunities. But
yeah,
that's when I learned the politics of the fucking business. Because respect to you and Nick, because as humble as y'all are to the dudes coming up and learning, y'all did not like getting taken advantage of, and y'all had no fucking problem standing up for your fucking self. So, and that's something I needed to learn because I seen some dudes that would shit on their best friend, especially, you know, now being in this lane now. That's why it does politics. I'm like, oh, this ain't brand new. Or you had the because doing it back then and actually getting it first, seeing that helped me a lot understand it to where it happens. That's life. Because at the end of the day, you still have to find a foundation for yourself.
Right. Because
I've seen tag partners break out and they like one partner and not the other one. And you think they gave a shit? No. But back then,
it's the nature of the business.
Well, especially, you know, again, this is me speaking from 12 years ago and not how it is.
Yeah.
Get that fucking phone call that was a golden ticket.
Yeah.
Like there was they didn't give a shit about the indies. That was a whole big thing with Vince McMahon. He never really cared. If you didn't have to look, they could train, because how his thought was, he'll train you to be a wrestler. That's not a wrestler has no talent. When a wrestler takes a lot of talent, you know.
Yes, indeed, it does, man.
Yeah, that's one thing I always tell you. It's like, dude, what do you speak like? Especially when they find out exactly what they like. So, what was the hardest thing? And I tell them the same thing. Like I said earlier, I would rather go back to MMA any day of the week than go back to wrestling. The only reason why is because the trust you have to not get dropped on your head. I know if I go into a fight, all my goal in that fight is to make sure you do not hurt me.
Yeah.
Wrestling, I have to tell a story and just, you never know what could happen. And it's not I'm not speaking ill on the wrestling business. I'm not speaking, it's just, you never know.
Yeah.
And that's something that me being older now, I can't risk that.
Yeah.
So
Don't blame you at all, man.
I would love to go back and be a manager and all that, but just how we used to do it, just because of especially
I couldn't be a manager. I couldn't do that. I'd be too close to the ring. It'd make me want to get in it and do something.
Yeah, that's the only issue. That's why everybody's like, dude, I'm like, I sat there and thought about it for a week. I was like, yeah, no.
Oh yeah, I've had people like Ace Diamond hit me like, man, you'd be a great manager. It's like, dude, I'd be that close to the fucking ring. Like, no. Like, I know I'd be a great manager. That's not the point. I just know I'd get close to that ring, and I'd probably have my gear bag with me, and I'd wait. Well, I could wrestle this man. Like, no. I gotta.
It's a drug, man. Like, I'm telling you.
That's the hardest part of walking away is that the adrenaline rush you get. Yeah, it's that adrenaline rush that you can't get nowhere else. No drug can give it to you. That feeling you get when you go through the curtain, and whether they're cheering or whether they're booing, it's still the same. There's that feeling you get, that adrenaline rush.
All eyes are on you.
That's why you got
15 minutes.
That's why you still got like the Rolling Stones still touring, because they can't get. You know what I mean? They still need that fix, and I get it. I totally understand it. If I could still wrestle, I would.
I would too. Because that is like it, and it was more or less living a dream. That's what I said.
Yeah.
But if I could ever go back to do I would go back to fighting, just because of knowing it would be a lot easier for me to get into the mode I need to fight than it would be to fucking rest, because ring shape and
It's two totally different worlds. Yeah, totally different worlds.
I was sitting there used to running a mile and a half every fucking day, and I was sitting there gassed just running the ropes for a minute.
Yep, it's a different kind of conditioning.
But I'm gonna go ahead and play my these two songs for my sponsors, yo. Appreciate you again, Mark. I know I said that a couple of times, but y'all really have no idea how dope this was and cool it was this for, especially to sit here and Low jump on. And so I even told Low earlier, I'm like, hey, I got my homie jumping on that used to be big bro to me. That's kind of like how you are now. He's like, cool, I want to meet him. Respect, Low.
Hell yeah.
So this is Roots. Oh yeah, dude. That he'll probably hit you up occasionally too, especially what he does. Definitely get at him. Me and him are working on some things for some kids, and I know you're really good inspiration on speaking to as a male role model. So
yeah,
definitely link in with him.
Definitely.
This is Roots Run Deep by my homie D Ward. This is provided from my sponsors at Leo Indie Construction. So thank you.
Soundtrack of my life. My roots, they bind me. They keep me hidden in these streets. Trust me, hard not to find these. Same neighborhood since 1996. Same neighborhood, Reggie had me moving bricks. Same neighborhood, I did all kinds of stupid shit. Judges told me I was unfit for society. I drowned it out with my anti-sobriety. Kept moving along, had them all despising me. White boy with razor beats in the mid-90s. Might be common now, but back then not so likely. So I always had some bitch boy try me. Had a hell of a squad, all my people right behind me. All through the milk crate, shoes on wires by lace. Nothing to walk outside, see a high-speed chase. White chalk police tape. If you're not from around here, you're probably scared to step foot in this place. My roots run deep. From the A&A Boys and Girls Club, busted up sidewalks, even the pothole here in these streets. My roots run deep. Police sign gunshots every night, we used to them. It's no thing, they don't even disturb our sleep. Bare knuckle fights, sometimes it was knives. Sometimes it was guns, we trying to take each other's lives. Not saying I condone it, not saying it was right. What I'm saying, this is how we lived, how we survived. 2 pages in my pocket, told my niche. One for family and friends, the other for the fix. Whether it was weed, hard, soft, paper, or gel cap hits. Tim Leary on the tongue had the boys on trip. Back then we really thought we was doing something, but now I see we was part of the destruction. Providing people in my neighborhood with the consumption. A broken community, full of dysfunction. That's why I'm trying to teach these youngins, cause it wasn't showed how to make something out of nothing. So
I feel like that, yeah, he sent me this. I'm like, yeah, this fits the kind of the mood for the night.
Okay.
My roots run deep. From the A&A Boys and Girls Club, busted up sidewalks, even the pothole here in these streets. My roots run deep. used to them. It's no thing, they don't even disturb our sleep. My roots run deep.
What's up, Lo? Lo's back in the chat. What's up, Lo? Because Country Boy Kev wanted him to hear this song. Yeah, dude, like it's crazy. Like the life that I live now, if you would have told me 20 years ago, nah, because I literally thought when I was 20, I was going to be in the WWE by now.
Right.
Like shit you not. Like, and that's not me being cocky enough. It's just I really wanted it that fucking bad.
Yeah.
Because that was my only goal, man. And that's I was hungry because well, why else are you doing anything unless you're trying to get to mountaintop?
Right. Yeah. I know towards the end of my career, I would have been happy with just being at Ring of Honor or something.
Just
right to where I got a little bit of notoriety, because my thing is that's what I was talking to you about earlier about being famous. It's like once you're famous, then it's like you can't go nowhere.
Nope.
And that's one of the things, like even just like around here, just like people that know me, it's just like you can't go nowhere. Hey man, what's up, man? You still wrestle? I hear that all the time. All the time. And it's like, obviously you don't check my Facebook that much because I haven't wrestled in like 4 years, 3 years, whatever it's been. And it's like, and that's the way it was even when I wrestled when I was up towards Middletown and stuff, you know, oh man, that's right. There's part of you that wants that until you get it.
Yep.
And then you regret it, like, oh man, I can't even go to the mall no more without people mobbing me.
Oh, when all this first started kicking, because regular people, I started walking past people and I was listening to my podcast and shit, and I'm just putting my head down, I'm gonna say shit, and then sometimes people recognize me, like, hey, do I work? I'm like, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, that's me. And for somebody that wanted to be famous so damn bad when they were 20, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's not that because I did it. Now I'm doing what I am, not for me. Like, I'm not doing this shit for me. I'm doing it for the legacy of my kids and to actually help that person that was me to show there's a different way in life, yo.
Oh yeah, so, even when I was still working shoot jobs, and you'd have people where you'd work with them long enough to where they'd friend request you on Facebook or whatever, and they'd be like, "Man, you wrestle? Why don't you tell me?" It's like, because I'm not, just like what Lo was talking about earlier. I'm not going to go off and tell you all my accolades of, you know what I'm saying? I know there are people that do that, but I'm not one of them. Like if you ask me, that's one thing I'll tell you, but it's not like, oh yeah, I'm a big wrestler and da da da. No, that was never me. If you know, cool. If you don't, I don't care either way. But there are people out there that are big on clout chasing, and I used to do this, I used to do that, and it's like, bruh, where'd it get you? You know what I mean? Like
you sitting right here next to me, bruh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was like, I never wanted to be that guy. Oh yeah, I was this big professional. No, if you find out, cool, but I'm not going to broadcast it.
No,
I'm proud of that, and I don't want to make that sound like I'm not proud of what I done, but I'm not one of those guys that likes tooting my own horn like that.
Right, and you never have been, for real. Like even when I used to sit there and brag about like with you, Rob, and everybody else, and they were like, "I'm not doing it for that young buck." I'm like, "All right, respect."
Wrong, buddy.
Oh,
all right, man. I'm gonna hop off here.
You're good, Bobby. I appreciate you, man.
Have a good night, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you again. Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, that was that's Black Bull, y'all. Solid dude. You know, like y'all heard me talk about him. Yeah, that's why I always fuck with him. That's why I do like I knew. Kids over before anything. So respect. Thank you, Black Wolf, for taking time out. It was dope to see here and actually go back to, you know, retro, how this used to be, and I hate saying that retro because it's not that old, but it's how I started this, y'all. I wouldn't play music all the time. I'd just sit here, talk. Whoever want to jump on with me, jump on. Talk about life. So we're gonna be doing this one day a week, starting next week. And also starting next week, shout out to Concrete Beats because they provided the beat for this to happen. I want to know who's hungry and who's really about this, because starting next week, we are going to be, it's going to dwindle down to 10 by Wednesday, as far as artists, for a beat given away from me and the producer, Shawnee D. So y'all definitely going to want to tap in. I'll be talking more about this as the week goes on, but definitely thank you, Shawnee D, for the beat provided. Thank you, Leo in the Construction, for helping make this happen. Can't fucking wait. And thank y'all for believing in me to do it all for y'all. I'm actually gonna play a James Bryant track after this too, because this song is fucking awesome. But this is Country Boy Kev, Slinging Iron.
Still slinging on while I'm in the hood. Left hand full of drink, my right hand gripping wood. I'm swinging lane to lane, but my driving good. Been hustling in these streets just like they wish they could. I'm still slinging on while I'm in the hood. Been hustling in these streets just like they wish they could. I'm swinging lane to lane, but my driving good. My left hand full of drink, my right hand gripping wood.
Extra flashy, they know that I'm getting this bank. I damn near dozed off, trying to get the bitch clothes off. Hella been, I've been sipping that drink. Ho, what you think? What's about to happen? We been chopping it up for a minute now. I'ma lay this pipe, about to change her life. I can't stay tonight. Grab my shit and bounce. Damn, it's money over hoes, that's on everything. Can the paint drip stains when I switch lanes? Been getting money, little buddy, ain't shit changed. That white boy hella sick, man, he spit flames. Pull up with my top missing like I'm 2 Chainz. Spokes and Vogues poking out, hogging 2 lanes. Past they coming in, they flying in 2 planes. Big weight coming in, man, I need 2 cranes. Man, I done made that play. Man, I done seen them hating. If they want it, they can catch that fade. Better stay out my way. Don't play with my pay, your ass will get played and get hard to your grave. Don't rat on my cage, don't play with the grade. Used to eat off my table, but stole off my plate. So I stay on my grind, I stay strapped with that iron. And I'm sipping my drink with my seats on recline.
While I'm in the hood, left hand full of drink, my right hand gripping wood. I'm swinging lane to lane, but my driving good. Been hustling in these streets just like they wish they could. I'm still slanging out while I'm in the hood.
Yeah, that's sponsored Country Boy Kev, man. May 3rd, be in Ohio, May. Flatfest coming to Oxford, Ohio. The boys gonna be there.
I just pulled me a phone and I hopped in the Beamer. We shot 45 up to Houston. Yeah, the life that I living from rapping and dealing. I swear that this shit got confusing. Try to really be famous, pull up with some swing. No more working, got rich off of music. Got the partner with bangles, they never ain't changing. Other polling, you know they gon' use it. Other polling, they slide. Other polling, they still sliding. One calling, they get violent, yeah. It's just creeping in the night. In your bushes, they start hiding. That potato make it silent, yeah. With the Houston, I pulled me a deuce and I picked up a bitch and start listening to Screw. Yeah, I'm straight at the country, they kill alligators and birds and put them in stools. Used to dream about swinging in candy paint box. All the OGs that made it look cool. Now I put my bang, it ain't in a box. Now it look like I made my tools. Still slanging on while I'm in the hood.
I say it's on this album, y'all. Me and Country Boy Kev gonna be reviewing this here soon. Definitely get you.
Been hustling in these streets just like they wish they could. I'm still slanging on while I'm in the hood. Been hustling in these streets just like they wish they could. I'm swinging lane to lane, but my driving good. My left hand full of drink, my right hand gripping wood.
Hey, Mark, man. Hey, pleasure was mine, man, for real. But if y'all didn't hear me, me and Country Boy Kev is gonna be reviewing this CD here soon. So y'all definitely gonna want to tap in. Shout out to my sponsor, Country Boy Kev. Big shit coming, y'all. Y'all heard May 3rd. Gonna be in Oxford, Ohio. Be at the Saddle Saloon, Slapfest USA, hosted by Rich Regal. Your boy's gonna be there. You. So I can't fucking wait. But this next artist is a local dude. I'll try to blow this dude up. He deserves it. This is James Bryant with Run Back. And we done for the night, y'all. And I will see you tomorrow with Dakota Faye. We're going to be rocking out and playing his project, I believe. Need to hit him up when I get done. It was good to go back to the rooster of just talking, man. Like, I forgot how good that shit feels. Just having a full episode of just talking about life. Because I know I do it on here occasionally, but just to do that stuff.
type, but you probably not. Say you wanna live, but you really not. All the other bitches in my phone be the reason I can't even really go home. Call my phone 2 times and I missed that. Now she blowing on my shit like it's Snapchat. Now she tryna run back like a snapback. And you ain't even like that. Don't be blowing my line, cause I'm over you. Bitch, I'm over you. Don't be blowing my line, cause I'm over you. Bitch, I'm over you. Don't call my phone when you all alone. Sippin' on Tron, thinking about the song. Bitch, you had your chance, and now I'm going. Got my head fucked up while I write these songs. Say you want my type, but you probably not. Say you wanna live, but you really not. All the other bitches in my phone be the reason I can't even really go home. Call my phone 2 times and I missed that. Now she blowing on my shit like it's Snapchat. Now she tryna run back like a snapback. And you ain't even like that. And I feel like you don't even love me. You just play pretend. Talk about all this shit I put you through, but baby, that depends. Scrolling through all our stupid memories when I thought you were it. Think about you, I lose my sanity, and it's time this the end. I done got a one-way ticket to your heart, but baby, you ain't it. I'ma do me and you just play your part, cause baby, this is it. Say you want my type, but you probably not. Say you wanna live, but you really not. All the other bitches in my phone be the reason I can't even really go home. Call my phone 2 times and I missed that. Now she blowing on my shit like it's Snapchat. Now she tryna run back like a snapback. And you ain't even like that.
Cause I really wanna go and change my life again. Everything just seems so frightening. I just know I have to settle down. Can't change around. All these bitches really trifling. And if you really know me, there's no my standards. I've been hiding it because I have it all now. Anyone try to take it, just know I'm fighting.
And I feel like you don't even know me. You just play pretend. Talk about all this shit I did with you, but baby, that ain't it. I just touched down in Calabasas. I'm on the other way. Think about you, I lose my sanity, and now you can't get played. Say you want my type, but you probably not. Say you wanna live, but you really not. All the other bitches in my phone be the reason I can't even really go home. Call my phone 2 times and I missed that. Now she blowing on my shit like it's Snapchat. Now she tryna run back like a snapback. And you ain't even like that.
Yeah, yo, that's James Bryant. We're gonna make that dude like famous. So I need y'all's help with that. But starting next week, like I said, thank you, Shawnee D, for the beats, Concrete Beats. Yo, it's gonna be partnering up with tr8 for a week, and it's gonna be the first week of our producer spotlight, to where a beat is going to be provided and given away to one lucky artist every week. That choice is gonna be between me and the artist, or me and the producer. It's gonna start out with whoever's hungry enough. Hit me up Monday, send me new shit. Because don't make me have to pick. Y'all don't want that. I want to see who's really about this, who's really wanting this opportunity. Because y'all see who's behind me. Y'all seen Load on here. Y'all seen Bug on here. Those are my people. It's crazy to think of how far everything is going. Shout out to Gray Matter. I seen you in the chat earlier, Rob. Thank you, Rob. Wish you would have been on here with us, bullshit and vibe with us. That's a memory and a half for me, y'all. But definitely tap in with me tomorrow. Me and Dakota Faye will be going live 8 p.m. Eastern time, y'all. We'll be playing his project and go from there. Thank y'all. It's been great. Black Bull jumping on here with me, helped me realize a lot too. I needed that spark. So if y'all heard the warning from me earlier. I mean every bit that I said. So everybody that truly believed in me, thank y'all. Everybody that because y'all should have buried me properly when you had the chance. So show you how to do that correctly. Love y'all. Nobody believes in you. I sure as fuck do. Don't do anything. Do it. Straight fucking savvy. Love y'all. Peace.